This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen. Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Welcome to The Point of View.
Welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television.
And hello, welcome to What the Papers Are Saying.
This be football made in Ghana. It be the only pidgin show where it day on your screen. Channel 1 TV.
Thank you so much.
Some people are late. You know, they have to catch up. City TV is now Channel 1 TV. You understand?
This is Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Sunday Breakfast. Welcome to your favorite Sunday morning TV show right here from our studios here in Owula Hansen, Tesano. Here's Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude, Duncan, and of course,
I am Safo. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
We'd like to remind you that it's Diabetes Awareness Month. So just get tested for being tested's sake and just know your status so that you can live accordingly, right?
Yeah, it's important. And later on in the show, we'll be having a whole conversation on diabetes, the
Type
risk
1,
factors,
type 2,
all you
and
need
all
to
of
know
that.
about it, because some people, they like sugar, they
You're
like sugar.
speaking for yourself.
No, I'm not speaking for myself.
Okay.
They like sugar both literally and figuratively. Yeah. I know you don't want me to go into it, but that's fine.
Also on the show today, we have a twist.
Yeah.
A little twist.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'd like to
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
so that you figure out what exactly the twist is, because it's going to be fun, I promise you. It's certainly going to be fun.
So, we'll delve into the news.
Yes, but before that, A Woman in You by with Zoe
Yeah.
Abubedu Ado is at 6 p.m.
With Zoe, like sometimes when people say it is Zoe, anyway. So, I know.
Whatever it is you want to say. It's just,
The name is Zoe, but in my lingo is Zoe. When you say Zoe, it comes with it has some aura, yeah. So yeah, it shows 6 p.m.
yeah.
on Channel 1 TV Sundays, every Sunday. For me, it's the amazing stories, the compelling stories, People are doing amazing within the space, particularly women, right? And it's important to highlight. I said the other time, I want to see you on the show. So
It will happen one day.
I have to talk to the producer.
Okay.
You have to listen to the Safo story.
If you
I'm
let's get into the stories before you start.
From Kumasi to Accra. No, so from Kumasi, UK, Accra.
Who says it's the UK that I went to?
But the UK, it's all caught to say. So we don't
You should
from.
behave yourself this Sunday.
I'm very well
Yesterday we
behaved.
had too much fun. Today is Sunday. Let's
somebody
compose
said I was
ourselves.
misbehaving, so
Yes.
I have to.
When I got to the wedding, and by the way, congratulations to my friend Ellen and her new beau, Eugene, on their marriage. God bless your union. Charlie, it was a fun wedding. When I got to the where we were dressing up for the bridesmaids, they all saw me and they're like, "Hey, you and your co-host, we okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're okay.
We're okay, pa.
We're okay, pa."
We're okay,
Oh, they actually suggested some names for us.
For us. Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'll tell you later on in the show.
I can't wait. I can't wait at all.
For our duet.
It's funny. Congratulations, really, to Ellen and Eugene. Eugene was a mate in Accra Academy, super guy.
I met another of your, I think, Accra boys,
yeah. I'm
David
sure
Ajikum.
a couple of them were around.
Yeah.
He was a top guy. So we wish them a blissful marriage. Yeah, I sure say by now he did enjoy.
Please, sir, I don't know what Jude is talking about, but getting into the news, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Never. The accent changed.
Yeah, it did.
So, let's get into the news before Jude takes me on a path. Channel1news.com. The one is the digit 1. Don't be deceived. Baumia will deliver as president, First Lady tells Ghanaians. Bagbin will go down as Ghana's worst speaker. That's Miracles Obwaje. Bagbin's partisan decisions fueling parliamentary impasse. Adomakun Kesi. Chief Justice directs reopening of closed courts in Upper East. And is still in the Upper East region. Akufo-Addo commissions single gold mine in Talensi. Take charge and end parliamentary impasse for Ghana's sake, Kufuor to Bagbin. Brace yourself for resistance if you recall Parliament. NDC caucus Penya Markin. Nana Uso Chaubrimpong wins National Best Farmer. Election 2024, Kaswa Traditional Authorities declare support for Mahama. If you come down the website, the chat, Musica operates an open door policy, Ahuma Bosco. and they were on Echo's show last night. Bawumia has demonstrated he'll be a better president of Pariansa. Akufo-Addo welcomes new Qatar ambassador to Ghana. Ghana Ivory Coast partner to patrol territorial waters. What websites are you on and what stories do you have?
So citynewsroom.com here it says attempts to disrupt Ghana's democracy will be fiercely resisted. President Nana Duncan Akufo-Addo with that one. Ewutu Senya West, I'll fiercely resist attempts to rig December polls. Gisela Tete. Election 2024, we will secure first round victory. Ashanti Regional Chairman, Chairman Wuntumi, Bernard Entry Bosiakon, that's his real name. Election 2024 will reduce parliamentary seats from 275 to 40, and that's coming in from GUM. You know the political party GUM. Yeah, he said if you chop that thing, 270. You know the 275 is even likely to go up to 276, right? So he says he reduce it to 40. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
The majority, the MPP leadership in Parliament say they won't apologize to Babin, Speaker Babin. And also here, Rashid Pelpo has been speaking while Central MP. He says the Speaker has done nothing wrong. He's just doing his job. Bawku conflict. Chief Justice orders reopening of 4 courts in Upper East. And also here, an MPP MP, Adomako Kisi Dixon, doctor, he's member of Parliament for Anyaso, to him says the Speaker's decision shows political bias.
Okay.
Some other stories here. Eco-conscious citizens urge IGP to address arrest of farmers on Farmers' Day.
Okay, so I'm on graphiconline.com. Some of the stories you'll find there today. Saboba overseas communities risk crossing River Oti. Put partisan agenda aside and use alternative dispute resolution for parliamentary standoff. Professor Ajumandia. Saboba, Kucha residents still climb trees for phone network connectivity. Wow. Mansour Dubia chief praises NPP's inclusive policies, urges support for Bawumia. Bawumia labels Mahama as worst performing president of Ghana's Fourth Republic. A good general, that's the short, a good general. Experts using radio to combat climate change in rural communities. Reach helping farmers in Upper West to cope with climate change. The 4 MPs cannot be said to have crossed carpet in this parliament. Former President Kufuor. Nana also a child crowned national best farmer. Still, Kufuor is urging the Speaker. Speaker Bagbin has solutions to parliamentary standoff in his bosom. He should show leadership.
It will be interesting to hear what the former president said. I mean, the story on the 4 vacated seats. You know, I was in Parliament on Thursday, and it was interesting because Cynthia Morrison, Agona West MP, showed up, and after the presser, you know, they will sing their party song to sort of energize their base, you know, and to reaffirm their stance and why their party remains the best option to lead the country. So they were singing the MPP song, "The elephant is a winning symbol."
And she was singing songs.
She was there. She was singing songs. So I'm like, are you singing it for the presidential candidate, or you are singing it for you, your independent? You know, so it's interesting navigating this, and in the coming days and weeks, I'm sure our democracy will be tested again, and we'll see how and where it leads us.
Let me read what Kufuor said. So he says, the intentions expressed by 4 members of parliament, and this is on graphiconline.com, the intentions expressed by 4 members of parliament to contest the December 7 parliamentary elections in different capacities from the status on which they are presently in parliament cannot be concluded as crossing carpet, former President John Ajay Kufuor has said. He said Ghanaians were watching what was happening in the House of Parliament, and therefore there was no need to use any tactics or technicalities to disturb the peace of the country when Ghanaians were well aware of how they want to vote for which side to lead the House. touching on the reasons for which the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, recently informed the House that 4 members have crossed carpets and that their seats have become vacant, a matter which was presently before the Supreme Court for interpretation of Article 97. Mr. Kufuor said, in his understanding, he does not believe that it can be concluded that the said 4 members of Parliament have crossed carpets in this present Parliament, since their intentions are geared towards the next Parliament, which starts on January 7, 2025. To him, he does not understand why the issue should bring a standoff. If the Speaker has said he has not declared any seat vacant, he should therefore allow the status quo to remain for the sake of the country, so that the present term of this Parliament can end beautifully.
You know, it's interesting, and I like the way a lot of people are coming out to share their opinion on this, some legal, some on bordering on democracy, on governance, and all of that. But you really get a sense that a lot of what we are seeing now would really not have happened if the Fomena instance in 2020 didn't happen, right? If the MPP did not push so much to have Mr. Siama from the then Fomena MP for the MPP out at the time, you know, it would have had different ramifications for what we are seeing now. And you get the likes of, for example, Tamale Central MP Haruna Idrisu say same when they said that, see, when Professor Michael Kwe ordered that he had vacated his seat after declaring to go independent in 2020, you know, it set a certain precedent, right? And for some people, same has to be applied now. You know, and I'm not too surprised that the MPP leader, caucus leader, Apejo Mbaki, took this matter up to the Supreme Court. So on Monday, the Supreme Court to make some more pronouncements on the matter with regards to the interpretation of the said articles and clauses. So we'll see how this goes. But my point is that, you know, it doesn't augur well for us as a people. You know, there are very important issues that have to be decided on in Parliament. There are very important bills that still have to be deliberated on. There's a supplementary budget to be passed, right? So where does this leave all of that? So these are the real issues of concern to a lot of Ghanaians, not necessarily where you sit in Parliament, which is not even grounded or shrouded in any like law. You know, there's no law that say that if your NDC sits here, if your MPP sits here, you know, it's become a convention. So it shouldn't be the reason why government business will be stalled, right? For which reason some will boycott, some want a speaker's pronouncement before they show up and all of that. I think Ghanaians they demand some level of respect, you know, and we've not seen that a lot. So here, I'm sure. You know, look at the Afrobarometer poll, for example, 82% say the country is headed in the wrong direction. That doesn't necessarily speak to our Parliament and but you know, they look at some of these things, they watch some of these things on TV, and they lose faith in our democratic institutions.
Have you lost faith?
No.
You still have
faith? You know, I think
you have hope.
We've chosen the route of democracy, so we must protect it at all costs. And like I said yesterday, we must enhance the guardrails of our democracy. That I believe so strongly. So we'll see. You know, Monday we are going back to the Supreme Court.
It's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long week, actually. You know, just some brief headlines that will delve into some more story. Bawku outlined 17-point plan to CEOs to boost businesses and private sector. This is on the gna.org.gh, the Ghana News Agency. GJA president calls for intensified pressure on governments to ensure safety of journalists. Also here, citizens must have access to information at every stage of the electoral process. Absolutely, the NCCE urges journalists to uphold ethics in reporting on violent extremism. Cocoa Board presents prizes to 2024 best cocoa farmers. Kudos really to all our farmers. The butterfly movement, Afrafranto, Charlie.
Almost
Ghana has to promote United Farmers Association. You know, so Alan Tremantin to promote Ghana United Farmers Association. Mahama needs your votes to fulfill his promises. Former First Lady Lordina Mahama. And also, the First Ladies have been in action a lot this election season, right? Rebecca Kufaro has also taken on Accra, giddy. She was in Abosoka recently, and she's taking a campaign to Abokobi Amasaman, and she's campaigning for votes for the MPP. I want to be an advocate of the vulnerable and the voiceless. That's coming in from Mrs. Prempe, who runs...
Bamia's wife?
Yes.
Napo's wife.
Napo's wife. Alma Prempe, wife of MPP, running with Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe. And let me just take our viewers to some international stories briefly. So, the US election is still ongoing very heavily, right? And the popular vote will not be, it's interesting.
They're still
so
counting.
So up until December, that's when they'll have like the final complete outlook on the popular votes. That's a long time. And I'm like, imagine the race was so close that you had to wait till December to know who
figure out who's going to win.
That's shocking.
That would be tensions.
Yeah, but the numbers are a lot, You're talking about 74 million for just one candidate and all of that. CNN is reporting that Qatar says it suspended Gaza mediation efforts due to lack of good faith in negotiations. Some top Democrats are beginning to build a resistance 2.0. So the resistance 2.0 is just their response to a Trump administration, and it comes with some photographs of some top Democrats, Gavin Newsom here, Elizabeth Warren here, Senator Bernie Sanders here. It's interesting how it will play out in the coming months and even year. Ukraine says it's launched drone attack on Russian chemical plant. And to some more stories here. After Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movement. The 4B movement. And finally here, okay, I think these are just some other promotional stories. So maybe we can just delve into some of the big stories we have here.
So, channel1news.com, you'll find the story there. Chief Justice directs reopening of closed courts in Upper East. And if you remember, there was an uproar over the closure of these said courts. So the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu, has directed for the reopening of several courts in the Upper East region effective immediately. This decision comes after a temporary closure due to ongoing conflict in Bawku, which had raised concerns about safety and operational capacity. According to a memorandum from the Judicial Secretary dated November 8, 2024, the following courts will resume operations: High Court, Bolgatanga; Circuit Court, Bolgatanga; District Court, Bolgatanga; District Court, Bongo. The registrars of these courts have been instructed to take note of the reopening and ensure that all necessary arrangements are made for a smooth resumption of judicial activities. Meanwhile, a 61-year-old man, known locally as Obi and known for seeking alms, has been killed in Mazama, a suburb of Bawku. This incident, which took place on Tuesday, November 5, 2024, adds to the rising death toll in Bawku's renewed conflict, bringing the count to 22 lives lost in recent clashes. The area had experienced a period of calm, but tensions reignited with the return of Alhaji Saidu Abagri, a rival chief who had been in exile since February 2023 due to a long-standing chieftaincy dispute. Abagri initially left Bawku following an arrest warrant issued after his contentious installation as chief in Nalerugu. However, a recent High Court ruling in Kumasi cleared the legal obstacles, preventing his return, quashing the warrant, and allowing him to come back to the community. And then the uprising in Bawku started again.
We want to urge calm heads to prevail,
Yeah, in this situation. I don't know, but I feel like ever since, even as a young adult, Bawku's always been in the news for the wrong reasons. It's always been, I don't want to call it war, but misunderstanding. And then they always resort to killing or using guns.
And sometimes, and
weapons,
actually,
and
sometimes for the right reasons as well. I mean, to be fair, they're amazing people. I know
no
a
one
couple
is
of people.
disputing the fact that they're not.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that they've been in the news for the wrong reasons, and then we're urging them to sit down and talk about whatever the issue is. Let calm heads prevail.
Yeah, you know, like I'm saying, the area, it's a really economically viable place. You know, so many people. I've gone there before, actually.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've gone to Bawku before. Like I told you the other time, even on the show, we had like a field trip for my geography class in final year. Like, they're so nice people. Like, so when they see you first, they are trying to wonder what's happening. Like, who are you? So when we went there with our bus, for example, like, the stairs were long and sometimes very uncomfortable. But once they see who you are and get to know why you are there, you know, and they were so amazing. I remember one time we had like water issues. So the community people help us.
How long were you guys there for?
Pardon?
How long were you guys there for?
So we did like a week-long trip.
Okay.
Yeah,
to the northern
part of the country. So, you know, and for me, one thing I also realized was how a lot of economic activities had come to a halt because of the repeated clashes and instances of violence. So we want to just urge calm heads to prevail. You know, we can always sort out our differences without having to resort to violence. And I'm sure it's been better, right? The situation has been better. I heard their MP speak not too long ago. So, yeah, I'm sure in the coming weeks again, we'll be hearing a lot more positive news from Bawku. But, you know, the president has been speaking. And
after his statue? Or
Adodi.
About his statue?
Charlie, the statue somewhere, you know. I watched back page with Caleb.
I was about to mention that.
Caleb is some guy. You know, he's really some guy. So, you know,
he says kudos to the person who made the statue, because all the potholes and the corners have all featured in the statue, and it's true. It's a spitting image of Nanado. It's a spitting image of Nanado. So, and I think I saw a TikTok of the person who made it while he was carving it out and putting it all together.
Some people actually opine that, you know, the statue is cool. Like, yeah, let's leave it. It's like it's nice, you know. As of course, some other people also raised the issue that you don't unveil a statue for yourself, right? It's done on your behalf by people who want to honor you. You know, sometimes it looks like it's some way.
He didn't commission it.
Yeah, but like, you know, he unveiled it himself. So the point is that it's divided opinion on it. Some people are actually see, well, he's done so much for us as a region, so we want to honor him if he's done this. And it was done in conjunction with the regional minister. So it's not even like Nanado was just there and decided to. But the point is that at least you develop the
runabout and the statues.
Yeah, you know, and
it looks so empty.
Finish the road chef or something. And
but the height and the pot belly and everything.
Yeah, the sculptor is tight.
Yeah, he's good. Deserves it. I think they should use this sculptor to fix the one at KJTR market.
I mean, I've not said so, and I'll not say so. But honestly, I would like to hear from Ghanaians what they think about the statue. You know, I've not.
So that's our question this morning.
Yeah, you know, if you are watching,
our viewers.
Yeah, if you are watching and you've heard a story about the president's statue, you know, just share your thoughts with us. The truth of it is, I've not formed.
You haven't formed an opinion yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of things going on. Like, why now? No, why not after your presidency? You know, why? What was the reason? You know, there are so many unanswered questions, and maybe until I hear from the president and what his intentions are clearly on this.
You never hear from him.
Yeah, but like, he should tell us.
Oh, he won't tell you nothing.
You know, Adodi is in the news. He's saying attempts to disrupt Ghana's democracy will be fiercely resisted.
Which website?
This is on the citynewsroom.com. President Nana Addo Dankwa has reaffirmed government's zero-tolerance stance on any efforts to destabilize Ghana's democracy in the lead-up to the December 7 general elections. In his final National Best Farmer Award address, the president underscored his steadfast commitment to preserving peace and security during this pivotal electoral period. During the event, President Akufo-Addo emphatically spoke about Ghana's long-standing democratic values, asserting that integrity of the electoral process is a top priority, reminded the audience of the sacrifices and hard work that have gone into building a stable democracy, one that now stands as an example across Africa and beyond. The president reiterating his commitments to, safeguarding our democracy. And, I've been talking about this a lot.
I'm talking about democracy for a while.
We have to protect, because Charlie is the only country we have. We can't allow it to be run to the ground, and everybody has a role to play, from our security agencies to the legislature, to executive, to the judiciary, everybody, and citizens, right? The president, in his very first speech, he said, be citizens, not spectators. So criticize constructively, don't denigrate. So a lot of the time, what people do is that they mistake attacks to be criticisms, right? So Charlie, all sorts of things. But no, explain why you disagree. State your points of disagreement, but don't resort to insults, right? Because the political tensions are high. The temperature is, Charlie. So one miscommunication, one negative utterance, and the ripple effect could be very, very damaging. So we need to, and we have a responsibility, because we have a platform, and we need to mention it, that people have to be responsible in the way they go about talking about politics, in the way they criticize arms of government and points like that. So yes, the president has assured that he will safeguard our democracy for us. He says attempts to disrupt Ghana's democracy will be fiercely resisted, and we'll hold him to his words.
We definitely will.
Yeah, we have to, at all costs.
We definitely will. Well, you remember at the beginning of the show, I said we have a little bit of a twist for you. So stick and stay. When we come back, you'll find out what that is.
Get ready.
Every objection against you is hereby dismissed.
For Impact 2024 with the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Reverend Dr. Eastwood Anaba, Apostle Joshua Selman, Apostle Isi Igeneba, Bishop Dr. Bernard Ojiri Asari, and Reverend Dr. David Entry. November 24th to December 1st, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily at Action Chapel International, Prayer Cathedral, Dominion Arena. For inquiries or pass information, call 059-230-0069.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me. You didn't spot the mattress we did the front there. Yeah? That'll be the mattress where the dead for time. Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Get ready! The Harvest Chapel International Overcomers Convention is here! It's a week of the word and demonstrations of God's love and power. Theme: Wisdom for Building the Church. And God's servants ministry are Prophet Eric Oku Parsley, Living Fountain Baptist Church, Bishop Ewisi Bookman, Rhema Calvary Center, and Dr. Michael Brady Nyamiche, Makers House Chapel International. And it's hosted by Reverend Fitzgerald Odonko. Prepare your heart, soul, and mind, and let's meet at Tehillah Temple, Harvest Chapel International, South Tesano, from Tuesday 26th November November to Sunday 1st December. 6 p.m. each night from Tuesday to Friday and 9 a.m. on Sunday. Song ministrations will be by the Harvest Gospel Choir and Wonyam and Calvis Hammond. Make time to be at the life transforming Overcomers Convention 2024.
You're welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast on Channel 1 TV with me, Safo, and Jude Duncan. So this week, we're doing something very exciting. I'm excited about it. I'm sure Jude is as well. We're reading letters that our viewers have sent to us. And if you didn't know, yes, you could send us letters. We're sorry we didn't let you know beforehand. But so we've received some letters from our viewers, and we're going to read them and see if we can try to help them. But we're not the ones, we're not the experts. So joining us to do this is Reverend Cephas Amate. And if you have any concerns, you know the show is always live and interactive. So do send us that through our WhatsApp number, 0204 447 033, 0204 447 033, or alternatively you can go on our social media platforms and use the hashtag Sunday Breakfast on all our social media platforms, or my ex _S, or Jude's at Mensa Duncan, the Mensa without an H. Hello, Reverend, how you doing?
Thank you, dear.
How are you doing this Sunday?
Pristine.
Oh, thank you.
As always, really.
Yeah.
As always, really.
Thank you,
Reverend, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank
you. You know, I have people who say they've been so, you know, they really appreciate the kind of conversation you've had with them for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Some of them, they didn't know that they didn't know.
Yes, my cousin, she's like, I didn't know that my child was not my friend, because her daughter is her everything.
Okay, but even bad for a relationship eventually.
So someone woke me up at church and said he was watching before he went to church last week, and the point you make about the need to listen.
Yeah.
You know, he told me that it's true for young children as it is for teens and as it is for
adults.
Young adults, right? You know, listen before you respond, right? And understand what is being said to you.
That's
so we are grateful that we have you.
Oh, praise God for that. Appreciate.
Wow. So today we are discussing, you know, we're taking it an interesting twist.
Okay.
We opened it up for our viewers to get more involved, more interactive, right? They sent in some letters that they need some, you know, professional help and advice on.
Okay.
And we believe so strongly our best place to help us do that. So I'll read the letters, then we just look at how best we can.
Okay, so letter 1. Hello, Sunday Breakfast team. I need your help with my dilemma. I am Kojo, not my real name, and I've been traditionally married to 2 women whom I love dearly as a non-believer. I am now born again, and per the teachings of the church, I'm being asked to divorce one woman. How can I divorce the mother of my children for no crime committed? Please help me.
Wow, Kojo Kafra. Kojo Kafra. Well, it's really not a big deal, because picking up from what you just read, Kojo is not engaging the situation as a member of the church, but he's already in the situation and he joined the church. So really, that should not be a big problem, you know, on the front, because he did nothing wrong. Because he's been in that marriage, and then after that he supposedly got born again or something, and he has joined the church. Okay, so the problem is not coming from any of the wives. That is still easier for him. It is the church that is asking him to get rid of one. Right. So it's simple now for him. Throw it back to the church. Which one? Which one should go? Because he has two wives. They want one to go. They're not asking him to let both of them go, right? One should go.
One should go.
Yeah, so ask the church which one. Is it the first that should go, or is it the second that should go?
Isn't that being a bit controversial?
Absolutely not.
And
because they have the luxury
wow.
to tell him, let one go. No problem, you should accept that. But ask the church, which one? Is it the first or is it the second? We have not even talked about the kids yet. Ultimately, Kojo will have to face his realities. His reality is that he's had these ladies before he got into the faith, as he says, and then he committed himself and decided to join the church. I wouldn't know. I will assume that if he's the head of the house as he should be, or if they have an understanding, they could be in the same church with him, or they may not be in the same church with him. But the church must first of all tell the gentleman which one he should. They should recommend which one should go. Is it the first or the second?
Well, but does the church not inherently acknowledge the role of the first wife?
No, like I'm saying, if they do, if they don't, they should not be public. I'm asking that because I want them to share responsibility as well. The reason is because, you see, if you don't have the courage to point, then don't expect me to have the courage to convict somebody. You might be able to say, this is the one who took the thing. For me to say, now you are going to undergo punitive measures. So the church must tell him, and whenever I bring that point across, it becomes a challenge. They even start talking for the church. Which one? No, but the man should decide. He shouldn't decide. He has not decided to get rid of anybody. If the church says it's against their policy, and I'm cool with that. That's a church policy. It's an organization. Forget about the spiritual elements there. It's a society. So he should just ask them which one. If they have no answer for him, he should decide whether he wants one to go to use the name of the church to let another go. Otherwise, he gets to keep them. That also brings another challenge. The church, it does not have, as a policy, a monogamous policy. We are not going to go into the intricacies of whether it's right or wrong. It's not God who is asking to get rid of a wife.
It's the church.
It's the church.
And a human institution.
So that's fair and that's fine. And I think the church should maintain their stand. They shouldn't relent on it. It's a group. It's a society. We all join the group knowing the norms and everything, the rules and regulations that guide us. So he should go with the church. The church has a rule. They shouldn't back up. That's their choice. But they should also not give up. They should also not back up. So what he says is that, well, fortunately, God is not asking me to let my wife go. You want me to let her go, so I can't function here. Good night, California. He gone. Go. That's it. It's as simple as that. Because when you leave the church, you don't lose your faith. You don't lose your newfound love for God. You just work around things.
Yeah, but it appears more complicated really than it is.
Not at all. It's not complicated.
Because some other Christians will say, and not even wanting to go neck deep into like scripture and all of that. But the point is, they'll read, was it Corinthians 11, right?
Yes. What's the problem there?
That talks about, that talks about the things you need to do before you're available or you're able to go for the Lord's Supper, which is a sacred Christian belief, where you're not supposed to, maybe we can read it later, but where you're not supposed to like have more than one wife, we're not supposed to be involved in any extramarital affair, right? So if Kojo is now being advised to leave the church because he can't address this dilemma, it puts him in a very difficult situation where his faith may be affected.
Not at all. It's easy. There's no complication in this one. Look, let me elucidate. First of all, God did not ask him. He gave his life to God, and he's in the church now. God is not telling him to leave the woman, any of the wives. And if God wants you to leave one, he will tell you which one to leave. So if the church wants you to leave one, the church must come up with something. They must have the courage to point, so you can also have the courage to act. If they can't act, if they can't point, you can't act. Who are you going to get rid of, the first or the second? But that's not all. The church has a policy. There's nothing wrong with the church policy. But what you are leading to Bible verses, there's throughout the entire Bible, there's no time that God told somebody to have a second wife. It doesn't go that way. There are instructions for leaderships. Everything you read, when they say be the husband of one wife, a bishop, and it's not only that, it says you should be blameless. So if you're talking about requirement, and I think the context actually flees more for a bishop and all that. True. So remember, anything that is a sin it cuts across. It goes for the new faith, found faith, the baby in Christ, the growing one in Christ, the mature one in Christ, the leader, the elder. Sin cuts across. There's no statute of limitations. It cuts across. So if it's a sin, everybody has it. And sin should not be separated and say, you can sin this way, you cannot sin this way. What you're talking about is governance and office. And it said that if you want to be a leader, a bishop, or the office of a bishop, you don't have this and have that. So from the day one, Kojo must know that if he keeps the 2 wives, and even if the church allowed him to keep them, he must know that based on their policy, he may never get to a certain rank. If in most of the churches, you can get leadership at a certain level, but as the levels go higher, the requirements to go into that office is higher. Somebody can be playing a role in the church, nobody will complain, but the same person gets another role in the church, and we go in there. If you're running for parliament, that things will require of you. If you want to go for president, they're going to go deeper and check on you more. So there's no issue there, because first of all, and we're not doing polygamy, but I'm saying that if the church can keep its policy, it's a society. Forget about the spiritual aspects. This is their governing rules. So abide by it or leave. It's a simple thing. I want to work at 60. I bring my application. I start the job. 3 months later, I really now get time to read the manual they gave me when I applied, and I never read, and I came and signed. If you don't want it, don't ask 60 to change their policy. Don't ask Channel 1 to change his policy. You can go or adapt. If he wants to stay in the church, he has to get one to go. I'm not going to ask him who he should choose. Those who said he should let one go should tell him which one should go. And by the way, he has not sinned by keeping his wives. I think the sin begins when he gets rid of one, because you see, your Bible tells you that putting away is wrong.
I get a perspective.
Yes, putting away, because if he's going to get rid of one, he has to do that by divorcing her.
Right.
And God says, I hate putting away. That's divorce.
Yeah.
And do not deal treacherously, Malachi, with the wife of your youth. And by the way, this is important. Let's remember this. Jesus Christ did not go to Calvary to abolish polygamy. So we must understand that. This one has nothing to do with Jesus. If there's a church has a policy, abide by it. I mean, we all know if you want to be in the Rotary Club, in the Lions Club, if you can't play with the rules, don't talk about it, leave. That's it. So there's no complication here. The only issue is if he decides to choose one and let it go. That's where the complication begins. But if they say let one go, which one? And that's their policy. You don't want to change it. You know, they can't change the policy just for you. Maybe you have to go to National Congress, and then that's where you can change those things.
So it's not fair to say the church recognizes the marriage of the first wife, and for that reason can say, because we recognize the first wife as your one married. Obviously, we don't know whether it was an ordinance marriage or
he said it's traditional.
Traditional marriage. Okay, so then he can't. So the point is that can the church then recognize the first wife and say, Madam second wife, you know, because of so and so, and because of the faith could espouses, it doesn't allow him to carry on.
Look, when you fly, I think even the eagles are put to shame. Look, it's the families that marry people. I was at a wedding yesterday, Action, the one after Denta. Claude Moult's place. I was there for a wedding yesterday. The wedding was on Saturday. They did the traditional marriage. That's Willie, and by the way, congrats to Fifi and the wife. They did the traditional marriage on Wednesday. Listen, they got married on Wednesday, not on Saturday. Do you understand? They got married on Wednesday. That is the traditional marriage.
Right.
That is why we basically normally promulgate the first one before we do the blessing. What they did in the church was a blessing. They went and blessed their marriage. And even state-wise, the government recognizes different types of marriage. The government doesn't marry you. You do the marriage, you come meet the conditions, and then they pronounce you man and wife and all that. But normally they'll ask you, have you done the traditional marriage? So they got married on Wednesday. If it's married the two women, and the church does not recognize one, the family recognizes it. And here's the beautiful scenario. The church, who is the church recognize? The first or the second? The church can recognize the first. The family will recognize the second. Because it's also possible that he took the second because he didn't just want to get rid of the first. So the church can okay. So the church can take the first, the family should take the second.
So his decision doesn't take retroactive effect in the church, you know. So if in the sense that once you've now say you've been born again, your past decisions still hold. The consequences of your past decisions still hold. So it's complicated.
It's not. And I will understand it. The issue should begin with those, if anything at all. And they want, you know, the church must look at it that what happened to those who come. Okay, so the woman who is the third wife, she's married. The husband is somewhere. She's in the church. What about her? Then call her to and tell her to go and leave the husband. She should go and leave the husband.
No, but then,
she's okay. She has one husband.
The point is that if she's Christian, and she's Bible believing.
We are talking about Christians now, so that is the. But sorry, I'm not cutting you, but let me drive this in. It's important. Listen, Kojo has 2 wives, but Eno is married to Kojo. Okay, Dede is also married to Kojo, but Eno has only one husband. Dede has only one husband. Angela has only one husband, and that is me. So I have 3. Okay, that's me subjectively. As you get rid of two and leave one. The point is that she has only one husband. She hasn't got 2 husbands. This one hasn't got 2 husbands. So who is leaving who?
So is the I get a point.
And it's simple. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Throw it back to the church.
Right.
But you know, if in the context of
because
being Christian,
biblically he has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, but in the context of being Christian, the second wife can be held, liable, because then the Bible speaks about, being a second wife. Yet, no.
That's what. No, the Bible has no condemnation about a second wife. It relates to offices, because the Bible doesn't say that if you lie, you can be a Christian. It says that if anyone, and this is about subjectives. Subjectives. When you get, we don't do it polygamy, so we don't need to go there. But look, it says if anyone desires the office of a bishop, he or she desireth what? A good thing. Then he lists a few things. He says it's not even just that. There are monogamous people who should not qualify as bishops, because one of the strong requirements is that to be a bishop, you must manage your house well. The same context where they saw the one wife thing also talks about a one who ruleth his house well. In other words, you must have your children in check.
Is it Timothy 3?
Well, it's there in the Bible. We can go find it. So it's not even just that.
I also recall in like 1 Timothy 3:15, it talks about the responsibilities of an elder of a church. I'm not sure if it's same thing for a bishop. And it's clearly stated there in the Bible.
But I'm not a bishop.
Yeah,
we all know what happened when you want to become a bishop. It's
First Timothy 3 talks about the role and responsibility of an overseer and an elder of the church. Yes. So I'm sure overseer then
That's why I mentioned the word leadership, not the believers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody is a believer, including the leaders. But all believers are not leaders.
So the responsibilities and expectations are different.
I work with Channel One. I'm a worker here. This. I don't go and sit in the board meetings. Just because I draw from health facilities, I have transport allowance, I have these benefits, I have those. It doesn't make me a member of the board. And the requirements, as we all know, for those of us here, it's not the same for some Mensa and Bernard.
Right.
And even the weight of expectation.
Yeah, that's what weight of expectation. And so, if you want to do this, this is it. There are things one of the top guys will do, and without anything, we all know that this guy is in trouble. If one of them came and sat on the screens here, endorsed a political party, no Kufio movement, that I'm endorsing it, that leader is in trouble.
Right.
The leader has not committed adultery, the leader has not stolen or forced a check, but just by which will not even be in the rules.
The manual.
But we know that as a neighbor. You get it? So there's no complication. That's why I say if they want to go, they should choose, because she's married to one man.
Husband.
Dede is married to one man. Angie married to one man.
But Angie was married to somebody who already has a wife, right? So that's where the complication.
And I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with that. it was not classified. It was throughout the Bible. Polygamy is never classified as a sin. So let's understand that. Now, that's number one. Number two, she is married. This one is also married. He didn't get rid of her. But this story, this same church, right? Look, they all practice polygamy one way or the other. Why? Because, let me show you why. Because in the same church, if Eno and I divorced, and I got them to understand why she wants to leave me, I want to leave her, whatever we did, and we did the traditional, we separated us, we did everything and let it go. And another time she meets somebody else, she will marry in the same church.
Oh.
If I also left her and I'm alone, I could go and marry in the same church. That's serialized polygamy. It's a matter of getting rid of one and taking the other. It's a trap race. So it's a very simple issue. If they want to go ahead to him to get rid of one or two of the wives, if he has 5 wives, he's get rid of 4. That's the point I'm making. So with their 5, which one will go? Because traditionally, the family recognizes all of them as his wives.
Reverend, what if Kojo sits down with his wives and then one of them accepts to leave the relationship, the marriage?
So all of them could even decide to leave him because see, you as a lady must know, we guys must understand one thing. Being with your wife, look, it's by grace that some of our wives are with us. Because, every woman, when you're in your marriage, sometimes you look at the guy you married against the other choices that, that's a woman's thing. So Kojo himself should be careful because he could put the offer there, he will wake up with no wife. Because all of them may be having people hoping that they will leave and these things. Even from the time the church will announce that get rid of some of the wives, there are guys who have seen good quality in those ladies, they want them to go together. So Kojo could have issues, and there are children involved in this matter. There are children involved.
So the decision should be made by who then? Kojo?
As far as I'm concerned, Kojo doesn't have a decision to make. He has a choice to make, not a decision. A choice in the sense that the church will not change, so I will leave. Or the church, but the church can say also that, well, you can come in, but you can't be a full member. Because just because I'm polygamous, if I may not be a member of the church, but I can also can't I be a worshipper? That's all issues here. Because we worship before we become members. That because I go to the church for a year does not make me a member.
For rest of us, it's very simple. It's very intricate because
it's so simple.
Because yes, so worshipper, believer, member, all of that conundrum.
If you're in a polygamous marriage, you have not sinned. Because, like I said, Jesus said you don't go to Calvary to abolish polygamy. So let's get that one. And then marriages vary. It varies from culture to culture.
But for the churches that, for example, you have to, like I was saying, the communion thing, where there are rules state clearly. If you want to come take communion,
it's talk about leadership. There's no place about communion and having 2 wives. It doesn't exist in the Bible. Only they create.
It's a human. It's a church as a human institution.
In the entire Bible, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 to Revelation 22:21. There's nothing there that bars anybody who has 2 or 3 or more wives from taking communion. Who is bad? Is it the man with who is married to 4 women, or is it the single women? Because you are saying number 3 because of time.
Or somebody is in the church somewhere.
But spiritually speaking, number 1 may be the number 4. The genuine one, because the day the man lies down with stroke for 3-6 months, 1, 2, and 3 can even disappear. The one we think is can be chopped, the man who rather turn out to be the one who saves his life.
Really caring for that one.
So Jesus cannot go to abolish polygamy. And I'm not asking anybody. I mean, even we can manage 1 wife. So I'm not talking about going to have another wife. It's hard to manage and know, and if they are tough ladies. These are independent-minded women. Having 2 is tough.
Wow.
But it doesn't negate it.
The perspectives are really interesting.
So the question is this: from the time the guy gave his life to Christ, if he knelt with the 2 wives together and prayed, will God reject his prayers? If one of the children for either wife was sick and he came to prayer, will God say reject the child? Would that happen? No. It looks so different strokes for different people. And remember, monogamy is a choice. It's a choice. Polygamy is also a choice. So basically there's no problem. Like I said, he hasn't got a complication because he hasn't got a decision to make. He's married them, or the decision was when he married them. The choice is to whether to decide as it is to stay in the church and let them go or whatever. That's it. There are people in churches, the pastors know this woman is the second wife. So will you sack the second wife from your church? I mean, I've been to play where they're doing deliverance or ministrations. I've been in good churches, and then the lady comes up and she's sharing a problem. What's wrong with you? The one doing the mics, and now they tell the brother, I'm married, okay, I'm the husband, second wife, yeah. That's why you are sick. That's why your child has. Listen, Right there in the platform. The woman who is a second or a third wife, when she shares a story, the pastor, understanding the psyche of the faith, will say, you have to get rid of this thing. You don't have to be a second or third wife. That's why your children are sick. That's why this is happening. Okay, fine. So she goes away. Then another comes in the line. She said, Mrs. It's only her. And she's telling you that I can't have a child. I've been married for 5, 7, 8 years. I've been faithful to my husband. My husband is faithful to me. We don't have any problem. We don't have a child. There's sickness. There is that. It's not the second wife. That one went from that problem too. So it's not about the number of wives. The man may have a different wife, but the women are all singles. They're just the husbands of one wife. Wow. It's simple. Okay. That's polygamy. Of course, there is also the polyandry where a woman can have more than one husband. But it's not the biblical issue. It's a church issue.
And the church is a human institution.
Yes.
And they are also prone to their own shortcomings and all of that.
Yes, and you may even be dealing with a pastor who has divorced and is in his second or third marriage. Except that he has one at that time. I have kept mine 2. You have gotten rid of 3 or 2.
And this is your 4th.
Yes. So
it's interesting.
It's very simple. There's no complication.
Right. Reverend Abata will be back and read the second letter, but let's take a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Another morning, another day filled with possibilities. My old car reflects my journey, and today could be the day I take a big step forward. Anything is possible. Just think about it.
My shelves are ready to be filled, and soon the flat rate will open up exciting new opportunities. I can already envision a vibrant shop bustling with customers, all eager to discover what I have to offer.
I feel optimistic about import costs. Why? Because with DMB flat duty rates, my expenses will be more manageable. I can see my business thriving.
Every moment spent with my son brings back wonderful memories.
I tell you, my son, with Mensa digital scores, the one customer create games in their website.
A show of boot number 1 on the ballot.
Get ready.
Every objection against you is hereby dismissed.
For Impact 2024 with the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Reverend Dr. Eastwood Anaba, Apostle Joshua Selman, Apostle Isi Igeneba, Bishop Dr. Bernard Ojiri Asari, and Reverend Dr. David Entry, November 24th to December 1st, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily at Action Chapel International, Prayer Cathedral, Dominion Arena. For inquiries or bars information, call 059-230-0069.
While the boys get front row seats to an exciting Premier League game, the girls are next door, catching up on a scenic getaway to the Australian outback. Watching together is always better. That's why DSTV Stream has content for the whole family to enjoy. Families that watch together, bond together.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast with me, Jude, Duncan, and Safo. We're having a conversation, an interesting conversation with our guest in studio, Reverend Safo Amate, taking us through some of your messages you've sent, your complicated relationships and issues that border on, marriage, relationship, love, and what have you. If you're wondering how you can be a part of this discussion, you can do so via WhatsApp line, which is active and open, 0204-447-033, 447-033. We want to read all of your messages. We want to also hear from you. You're thinking around some of the issues we are discussing. Some of your messages have come through on the question around the president's statue. We'll delve into that a little bit later, but I can still keep them coming, and also on what we are discussing. Eno, you have a second letter for us?
Yes, letter number 2. Hello, Sunday Breakfast team. My name is Vanessa, and I am at a crossroads. I need your advice. I used to be very beautiful inside and out. I had so much confidence, and I was doing so well until I met the man I thought was the love of my life. We got married, and today we have 2 beautiful children together. Trust me when I say life was really going well until he hit me for the first time in the middle of an argument. I ignored it at first and just said to myself, it's a mistake, and besides, he apologized, so I forgave him as a loving wife would do. However, it became a part of our marriage, and I don't know how that happened. Now, he verbally, physically, and emotionally abuses me without blinking. He even does that in front of our children without shame. Another way he abuses me is to lock me inside the room, leaving me to wait until he comes back from wherever he went. I have left about thrice already to my parents' house, but as typical Africans, they pushed me back into his arms, saying it would bring shame to the family if I left my husband's house to live with them. I have lost my self-esteem, self-confidence, and mental stability. I can't even recognize myself anytime I look in the mirror. What should I do? I am tired. I may just kill myself soon. Please advise me. Reverend Amate.
Did she give us a name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa. First of all, these days people don't go to funerals much. So if you kill yourself, your friends will even insult you. So just so you know, nobody will pity you when you kill yourself. They'll come and take all the jollof and the pork meat and then go home. Look, the answer is in all the solutions are in what you just read. There's no issue at all. The lady says that, and of course you notice she knows who she is because she preludes by telling us how beautiful she is. And I like that. So that's a very self-confident woman who should be counseling others. But now she needs counseling. All right. All that glitters.
There's no gold.
It's not wachi. Look, the lady said she is the one who has endorsed the lifestyle, not the guy. So don't rant. Yeah, the lady is the one who has allowed this to happen. Because you see, she said the first time he did it, unless I didn't listen right, the first time he did it, she brushed it off.
Right.
And took it to be a mistake or something. So she let it go. She did nothing much about it. And she says that she took that decision that it was an error, or she brushed it off. It doesn't happen. It's the first time. It won't happen again. And it was a mistake. So she protected the abuser. Abusers' first pot of protection are their victims. So she protects. The man never said it was a mistake. The man never said it's going to be the first and only time. She said that the one who received the rough treatment defended and protected the one who did it. That's what she did over there. So she actually signed a death warrant. That should be clear. Don't go and say men are abusive. Don't go there. She endorsed it. Abuse only continues because it is permitted.
So she's enabling him.
She has enabled him on the double. Because they even lock her and he goes and comes here. So that is there. So let's understand what the issue is. It will end the day she decides it is over. This one, you don't take it to prayer. That's it. She has to end it. I know a lady who has permanently lost one of her eyes. the beatings were going on, and I made the mistake over 20 years ago to advise her about one of my closest supporters in terms of supporting the ministry work at the time. When I realized what was going on, I said, Charlie, what I'm hearing, because you visit somebody in a flat, apartment, snitch flat, and then you find out after a long visit that somebody on the block is an old friend, but you never met them there because of the time you go there and all that. You say, hey, Charlie, mami ne tolei. You go, Mama. And the guys, you can't even believe the guy was like that. And so I got the story, monitored. Then one day I said, what's wrong? So I said, Charlie, madam, this is my friend. You know it. You know me and your husband, we are there. You won't let me talk openly. I can't just go and accuse him. You have to point for me to get it on it. So he's what few Presbyterians. And I can't, you know I can't. Famanyam. The famanyam I removed one eye. You know the funny part? They divorced after the one eye went. Now if you want to propose to her, you are proposing a one-eyed woman. I'm not saying anything else, but I'm just saying that if she had left earlier, a new guy will have a lady with two eyes. So it is purely her choice. This is something, it continues. Look, when you die, life moves on.
True.
Life doesn't stop for you for a day. Right. That's the reality we all have to live with. So this continues as long as she wants it. And let's not go into the children, this or that. When you die, they'll bury you. The children will be somewhere. So, and she is saying that she doesn't even know, but she knows. She doesn't even know when how it became so massive. Yeah. It's the thing has gained degrees.
It's not a PhD holder.
Yeah. So she has to say no more, no mas. Roberto Duran, when he fought this guy, and he saw that Charlie this time, the way the thing was going, he has to end the fight. He just started walking away across the ring. And he said, no mas, no mas, no more. So she has to say no more. There's nothing that can be done here, no more. No more means what? But you see, she's a housewife. Yeah, the only way the story.
Yeah.
I mean, married women also, working wives also have the abuse. But she's a housewife because you see, he even locks her when
he's
going out. So in a case, it's worse because when the injuries even come, she can't make up and to work and find a reason and say my son was flying, and he went to Elon Musk, and when they dropped him, there's no
stories.
Yeah, when the rocket dropped him, whatever. No. So that is worse because she has enough time to heal before she's seen at church.
Yeah. Right.
So that's crazy.
Wow.
But the family, these days, who is your family? Who pushed her out? You if you want out, you're out. You can go. Somebody will receive you. Look, if you want to get out, there are people who stand by you.
Yeah.
And you see those guys who are those abusers, they are cowards. When they recognize now that they are confronted that this is what our sister or our friend is telling us, and we are schoolmates and we've seen it, bro. No, Charlie.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Reverend, what would this do to the daughters or the children who see their mother being abused right in front of them?
Secondary issue. About mothers die. When a 3-month-old baby's mother dies, what happens? So life goes on. So I'm just saying that you save yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. You save your life.
But will it affect the girls in the long run?
Yeah, it's going to affect them because if it was purely love and bliss and joy, it will also positively affect them. This one will negatively affect them. But here's the problem. In the story you read, there's a catcher. The catch-22 is in there. She said, now even in the presence of the children. Yeah. So the boys are learning to beat women from there. That's where we all learn.
That's the bigger problem.
We learned it from our fathers. So sometimes you must forgive us. We saw it happening. Nobody came. No, nothing was done to daddy. The mother after the beating, actually, come and kid I can with the children get the cake and the fish. We won't get the egg. So you know that if you want to get egg, when you grow, you have to beat your wife sometimes. Yeah, because I'm talking about this is.
The wrong orientation.
Sometimes it's not nice to say this, but I'm talking about what happens.
Yeah.
he gets on it. He gets pampered and treated. And then the friends come in, the ladies' friends come in and they worship.
They'll probably go to church the following Sunday and he's probably giving the sermon, you know.
So it ends when someone says it's okay.
Oh.
You know, it ends when one person says, I agree.
All right, I wanted us to talk about the role of parents. You know, for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking a lot about parental care.
Yes.
And from what Vanessa tells us, she's tried to stop it. Right, where on 3 different occasions she says she goes to her parents' place because she doesn't want to continue the marriage anymore, and for some reason her parents drive her back. So it comes back to parenting, and this is parenting for adults, I believe. So how has parenting as an institution also failed us as a society?
Yeah, the parents are not. You see, people get up and say, once your child was abused, you should have let it stay. No, the parents are right to let it go back. That they want. They may not. The guy you see doesn't look like a bad person. He doesn't look like a narcissist.
No.
You made this guy look at Jude. Look at his squeaky clean. They say this guy abuses his wife. I'll send my daughter back. What do you do? So and so we need to understand the parent side. You see, because children end up blaming their parents for their failed marriages. That if I had made me go back, that woman will not have come. That is also there. So they don't want trouble. At my level now, I know about parent stuff and all that. Sometimes you don't want your daughter in the marriage, but when she comes, you can't tell her to leave the marriage because she will turn around and blame you. So you must be resolute. She went back because the girl is the one who defended the guy from the beginning. So when the parents talk, she flicks back. Because the terrible thing about victimization is that you start loving your oppressor. Kidnappers end up being loved by those they have kidnapped and raped and abused. And that's the
emotional bonds are formed.
Yes, for good or ill, it will be formed. So that issue is there. But I'm saying that the fundamental map is clear. Define what you don't want. And that is also why we must build structures. This thing about going to church and part of the women's group, some of those things, people should stop doing it or going. Because that is why they are there. We are not. What are you in that society for? In the church? What are you in Rotary Club for? What are you in Lions Club for? What are you in all those groups for? You are there for a reason that beyond the parenting, because how strong are your parents? Look, you are married, so give and take. If you are 45, 50 something years, I'd rather your mother and your father will be in their 60s or something. Even if they don't want what is going on, what are they going to do? The people are looking for money to buy a BP medication and buy these insulin checkups and all that. They battle with all that, so they can't really fight for you. They can speak for you, but they can't really be there. Your daddy is no longer the same daddy who could walk into you class 6 or JHS2 and deal, with the teacher. Yeah, deal with the teacher and face issues. They are maybe a bit partially well, bad reading. The strength is not there. So when you come, they say go because maybe the guy will come and talk. But you don't want to go. They are not going to force you out. And why? If you are a human being, a woman, and all you have is just your parents to go to at the worst of time, you are a failure. You're a big failure. It's also you're a bad person yourself, so maybe you deserve what you're getting, but you don't deserve it. I'm just trying to make a point. Because we must have structures. That's why they are friends. The churches have nowhere to even take the ladies when they're in this crisis. You go to name any of the churches, even your own church. What do they do with a lady who said, I can't take the abuse anymore, my family don't want me? They have no place for you, but they are taking your time, taking your offerings.
I can't unsee it,
I know.
It's the reality
resonated.
This place, when you go to Adenta, race area, race flats, some years ago, I let it flip from the top. They jumped to that there. So yes, some people want out of it. But most of the time, like you feel bad about it, shy about it, looking at
the societal pressures.
To tell that you are being abused at home. Just that if your mouth is like the one that some of my sisters have at home, it's hard to say it, but it's about your life and the trauma. And look, I'm telling you, the effect on the children. For their sake, they should go. The moment the children, we've made mistakes. We've been silly because we saw things we shouldn't have been allowed to see. When we are being judged, they feel we should have known better. What we didn't know better is what we saw.
So if our society as an institution has also failed our women and young ladies who've entered marriages suffered abuse.
Yeah, but there are options for people now, and there should be more options. I don't, the churches should be the best,
right?
Because churches should have options. In the Bible there are cities of refuge, so we have to practice our faith well. We must have rescue places where a lady can go.
Wow! So
and you see, once the lady goes into the protective mode, it's no more the women's fellowship; it's the men's fellowship. People must listen. Any husband who knows that the wife has strong structures protecting her, he will take it easy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
That's true.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I feel even in relationships, when he knows that she has some big brothers
backing
who are behind her, you're careful with how you're dealing.
The guys, my gang guys that I have, who touch my daughter, that one is not going to work. So, but we made our mistakes, but we've taught it. He said, look, this is my mistake with your mother. This is my mistake. This is my brother's mistake with their wife, because this is what we saw. And some of the ladies too grew up seeing their mothers insulting their fathers. A man comes from home, a whole boss, capping the tutti the capo, the boss of the bosses. He comes home. The driver can't believe this is the boss I drive and I shake. Because of the way that woman would just be the cloth and the chalet. So they also see it.
Wow. And
if he also brings it to my son, who has also been brought to know that you're Jen.
So beyond the women's fellowship, teaching them how to do sobolo, how to do soap, how to dress and all of that, they should put in place proper structures to address some of these things.
Yeah, because it's real.
True.
It's real. Office really can't help you much.
No.
The office structure cannot really.
There's only much the HR can do for you. Than to
they
just
can give you money, give you a place to stay and all that. But Mr. Mensa can do something. Mr. Mensa actually is solid. If it gets on your side, you are a winner. That one day for sure. So the structures must be there. So yes, much as she made errors, and she wanted to be a good wife, the vows and everything, she said something. And narcissists are fantastic, and the abuse is heavy. But remember, the ladies to abuse. And I think the abuse of women is far worse. That physically you get touched and a few things, but actually the emotional. Because there are guys who close work after the football match, whether they won or lost, it's not anything. Some of them, they are watching the match with you guys because they can't go home early. He's a boss in the office. It's hard. He's the boss in fact, they will put their phone on airplane mode. And sometimes there are people who will charge their phone, they leave the phone in the car. They can't answer. So there are challenges.
Their team drew.
And it's both ways. And you can't go. Look, you see a guy said there, it's not even an alcoholic. Bible guy, another in the church. It's not ready for anybody. It's timing around that time, the woman will be tired and then she'll start sleeping. And then you go home. I know people, the moment, look, I have friends who take a loan and get their wife to go outside. So when she from the airport, and you know what? A friend shared me, said, Charlie, I get trouble. Okay, Charlie, see, Charlie, I'm in trouble. I said, what? Charlie, this is my children, madam, catch me. You know what he did? The woman has found out that any time Reverend Minister, he comes home around 10 something 11, the meeting, he's good, after a while God has helped him with wisdom, so he's able to create virtual meetings he's speaking at, so that because he's from office, so he's not going home to pick a housewife, so from time he'll go to those meetings, they are virtual meetings, and this guy he's not in Accra, but he sent me a story. He said, and you know what happens, one of the days a friend came from Accra to visit, and he had, the wife had traveled, and the lady had to be with them because it's a family friends and all that. And from the woman, the wife found out that, I think jovially in a conversation, that once the lady flies out of town for about 6 weeks, virtually all those periods, and sex for maybe a weekday, Wednesday, or if not an all night or half night, by 6:30 the guy is home. For almost 6 weeks. Do you understand? Because
there's peace.
Mommy go.
There's peace.
He's home. He has nowhere going. So throughout the lifestyle, he always has to find a way to go. So I think it's challenging. And you know, we are not really taught how to be married. So it's not to say you are portioning blame, because some of these things, this guy you are talking about, it is what he has seen. It is what he has lived. It's what he has seen his father get away with, what he has seen an uncle get away with. It's what he feels is there. Then there are people too, there are things in our nature we don't know until we face certain realities. There are people who have never touched a woman before because they're not married before. They're not faced a situation where the woman is talking back at her, at him, or vice versa. So people wake up in marriage to say anything, and that is why in the multitude of counseling there's safety. But if you also want to pretend and not seek the proper guidance, there's a problem. And then again, to one more thing, sometimes the big problem in marriages are the counselors. The counseling. If a couple decides that they are comfortable sleeping in different rooms, don't legislate that they should be in one room.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Right.
Yeah.
There are more messages coming, and for some of them, we have to help them address some of the issues they have. Hello, I'm watching from Asham, and I was in a relationship where the guy abused me for a long time. So I one day mustered the courage to break up. Since I break up, he won't stop pestering me. He literally stalks me now. What should I do? This message I didn't send the name. I want to take a couple more so you're able to just round it off for us. This one said, since when did marrying 2 wives become a sin that God will kill you for? The church is killing people lately. Hence, I've decided to stay home and deal with my issues privately. Kwame from Kaswa also sends a message. He says, can an abusive man change? He goes on to answer, never. Women can leave now. Your parents are not parenting at all. And that's from Kwame in Kaswa. Mami
and Takrade, Eno and Jude. I mean, how can a woman in this era be contemplating staying in an abusive marriage or not? It is not a question at all. She either leaves or dies. Hello, good morning. I'm Kofi from Nungwa. What about the women that abuse the men in the marriage? Reverend should address both sides. I think he just did. I think he just did. Let's talk about the guy still pestering the lady. Oh, that one, she's walked out.
A shaman girl, no, she's a hard girl. She managed the breakup.
She can manage him.
Well, the guy needs a missed call. He needs to have a missed call.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you know, a lady has friends, a lady has schoolmates, a lady has friends in the church. And like I said, these are bullies. They need to be stood up to. He needs a visit. You understand? You know, there are things you can't discuss on air. You know, there are things you have to do, but you can't talk about them on air. You understand?
A visit from who?
Look, he needs a visit. A nice visit. You know, like this visit, you don't do it at 10 o'clock in the evening. He needs a visit. You just have to have friends monitor his movements. And then you and I'm serious about what I'm saying. He needs a visit. You stop him, you get hold of the guy somewhere. When he gets a job, you guys are there. In case one gets down, and don't take cars, you take bikes.
Or just you know, there are avenues to report some of these things for law enforcement to deal with.
No, that's sad. You know, how many policemen do we have to one person? But to one community.
No, but there
needs a visit.
There are social systems in place to help address some of these instances of like abuse and stuff like that. So we can also trigger that.
Truth be told, but that's for those of you who live at East Legon and Trasako. I'm making East Legon, Trasako, and those places. You know, Airport Hill. That's your style. You go through the structure. There's the wide unit. That's your style.
And the Ashama style is different.
Choco, Last style, we take a bike. You take it with your bike friends. You visit the guy. You meet him. Respectfully, you know, remember, he's the husband to the lady. Nobody's going to disrespect him.
No, it's a relationship.
But we know the lady is dating him. She wants out. She goes, she says, look, bro, her sister, things are not going well with her. I think you need to understand that she wants out. And we've never been a problem. But we don't want to get into a problem. You know, the brotherhood understands. Back off. I mean, 10 guys. Nobody has a nice haircut. The bikes are there. It's a visit. He understands. It's a brotherhood thing. You know what I'm saying? Look, a lady is blackmailing you. I don't care. You just get the right ladies and let them give her a visit. She has a parcel from Dubai. She'll come and get it. Then you sit with her.
You know,
after that single visit, you'll never get a problem again.
I like the point you make about standing up to bullies and all of that, because a lot of them, like you rightly said, they are inwardly they are cowards, right?
Yeah.
And they do this as a form
He's
of
not
escape.
getting somebody to treat like that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not getting somebody, narcissism. He's not getting somebody to abuse. So go find somebody else, but not this one.
Wow. Our WhatsApp lines are still open, 020444470333.
And you read something about the first question you read.
So
so
there was another one which said that since when did marrying two wives become a sin? And he was talking about the fact that he's decided to stay home. I'm sure Rev would disagree with you. And this one I was asking, can an abusive man change?
Yeah, an abusive man can change because, we are human beings, and we need certain things lead us to where we are. So other things can take it from there. So I believe so. I think there are people who will have had a bad experience in their marriages, who to death will come for many years. They will never touch their partner anymore. Their regrets and their remorse and all that. So yes, a person can change, but you can't live long enough for the person to change if the abuse is getting bad. Nobody gets killed just like that at home. It takes time. You see the signs coming. There are a few exceptions. The exceptions are the quiet people. See, if you are living with a man, see, a woman must see the structures coming in. Sometimes they are very good men, and so as a woman, you should also be careful how you deal with them. See, when you reach a point where anything you're doing, the man is not minding you, that's bad news. That's danger. For you, it's a sign of victory. You are telling your friend, hey, this time yeah, but that's danger. I used to train dogs as a hobby. There are dogs you train. When you start coming near the house, when the dogs start barking, that's the best one. But sometimes they're born again in spirit field. They wait and will lie down there and watch you coming. By the time they start barking, they go to where you pass to get out.
All right. Let me just ask you this. So what should be the response at the very first instance of citing an abusive trait in your spouse in a relationship? What is it a freeze flight? That thing they say.
Red flag.
Yeah. What should be the response?
The response is always the issue. When the first one happens, right? Don't use a ruler. Don't use a broom to kill the fly. Go for a sledgehammer.
Child.
The first sign, give it the sledgehammer treatment. Before the guys will say Jesus is Lord, his father has heard from, and a friend of yours has called the father. Your father has called, your mother has called, the pastor has called, a police friend all of you go to school. You have friends who are also in the force. You call your police friend. Extreme.
Is that not washing dirty linens? Is that not washing dirty linens in public?
There are some dirts you can't wash at home because it will stain every dress in the house. You go extreme from day one. That is why the thing has continued, because you massaged it.
Yeah. She said she thought it was a one-time thing.
So by the time he attempts to hit you the first time, and we made mistakes, so I don't want it to go on. By the time even if he didn't hit you, because you see, okay, if you're a Christian too, you have to apply the New Testament. You can't apply the Old Testament. The Old Testament, guys, listen. Under the Old Testament, sin was, and you guys, you should also listen. Under the Old Testament, sin was determined at the point of action. So I must literally hit you.
Before.
That's under the Old Testament. And the New Testament, under the New Testament, sin is determined at the point of decision.
Thought.
Yes.
The thought process.
Because see, if I am here and I decided I'm punching you, I'll punch. But I'm not going to hit you because of geography, distance. You understand? So, to that extent, I have hit you. So, it's at the point of decision. In the Old Testament, you had to literally have sexual intercourse to have committed adultery. That's under the Old Testament. In the New Testament, like I said, Jesus changed everything there. Now, if you look at the woman, Matthew 5:28, to lust after her, Jesus said this one, no Paul. He said, you have already committed adultery there in your heart. So the abuse should be dealt with at the point of
the thought process of it.
Yeah, because hello, imagine if I have a friend like Bernard. Oh, so me, if I feel that thing is serious, no, I go, bro. Be like, oh, Charlie, I'm scared, oh. The way the guy acted means that somehow, if he's no God, he don't know what they've done to me. So you make sure he gets 2, 3, 4 calls. Wake up call. And then possibly, every family has somebody who is very wild.
Yeah.
So when you're going to marry into his family, when you are going to marry and you date long enough, you know that this guy in your husband's family is crazy. And this girl in your husband's family is also crazy. It's also, and vice versa. So you let one of the crazy ones call. Yeah. Listen, do you understand? Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, like there are times when you get a call. I don't call. I have nephews. I say, "Kai, come on, go." No, I came in. It will try. Yeah, padi ne jeme. Yeah. Don't be like a minibar. She could ball in yeah. So. Well, he's going with 4, you know, and by the time they say Kokoko, they are in there with you. Yeah. And you know that they'll respect you, you know, bro, why you know go Charlie, it's a problem, Papa, you know, when it's nice, you know. Look, let me tell you, it's sad, but I'm serious. I'm not joking, you know, maybe it sounds a bit friendly because as we speak today, that people are buried who should be alive today. True. Because of abuse. True. Some mental. You think all these heart attacks these guys are getting, why? Because of what they eat or drink? No, it's stress from women. From some of the women. Stress. Yes. Some of these guys here know that they can manage this, but if they say this, the lady is going to worry them. So do extreme things that they shouldn't do. And it also goes for the ladies as well.
And corruption and all of that sets in.
And part of the reason why sometimes they can't talk about it because sometimes, you know, when you're in love, you fight for a marriage, everybody said don't do it. So when that happens, you feel like, and that's another problem, you feel like you're ashamed and now it's like you are wrong, you know, they advised you, didn't listen, okay, no,
you have to overcompensate.
Yeah, so and now you can't go and say that you were wrong. But listen, and this one I'll charge you guys. There's something they say in Akan. Ustro our rijaya, unya our repa. You know what it means? It doesn't mean what you people think it means. It doesn't. What most people think that, maybe, Listen, what it actually means is that, you know, we are married. Me and you know we got married last week, so we are married. Things are going on she doesn't like. Okay, so listen, it's important to understand. So Eno decides that, hey, if she starts addressing this thing that she has seen with me, the marriage will spoil. So she decides to hush because they've told her that the one you said, battle for West, you stay there. That battle for West, one day we'll talk about it because it doesn't mean what he says. And I'll explain that. So listen to this quickly. So she says that the things are bad. But if she starts talking about them, it will bring problems. So she will be quiet so that the marriage will not break. Because of that, the reality is that deal with the issue. Be willing to let the marriage have its risk and even go off. Most of the time, when you face the issue with the fear that once you deal with it well, it can be corrected. And now, so your fear of losing the marriage it should be a fear of losing a bad home. You shouldn't be afraid to lose a bad home. But when you address the matters, it should be okay. That is it.
Right. Reverend Amasi, thank you so much. I mean, there's so many messages coming in, but unfortunately, we have to go. But we will definitely bring you back in studio to address this issue.
Okay. No, please pardon me. Please. He says, what do you do when your woman doesn't regard you? She's taking your child away from you but calls you for school fees. Should you pay the school fees or should you pay?
No, you have to pay.
You have to pay the school fees.
You have to pay. But pay it, get the receipt, and then make a case. It's against the law. It's purely under the law. The man has access to the children. It may not, if everybody knows that, but if she's going to be you really want to see your child, ratify it. Make a report, that's it. You have access. You can get the child. You can have time with the child.
So don't neglect your responsibilities towards the child, but demand to see your child.
If you don't pay the money, the fees, it's not your woman who's going to the class. It's the child who has the problem. So
we're grateful. We're grateful. We'll definitely have you back in studio so that we continue this conversation. Right. But a year on after the Akosombo Dam spillage, we here at Channel Channel 1 and City FM continue to do our widow's mite. Let's take a look at this report.
In more than a year, and many have so far forgotten about the disaster that struck when the Volta River Authority spilled the dam, leading to havoc in various homes, displacing thousands of people. Today, we are handing over a market, a washroom facility, a water station to the people of New Bawku in the Central Tongue District. The administrator of City FM and Channel 1 TV, Mr. Matthew Aidan, represented the managing director, Mr. Samuel Mensa, in handing over this facility to the good people of New Bawku. And this was the message and appreciation he extended to them for their participation and their fortitude throughout these trying times.
We want you to have back your life. This may not bring all that you have lost, but then our donors and the station is saying that we thank you for your endurance, and we want to also thank you that you have been there from day one when we decided to come and put up this facility.
One of the chiefs of this area, Togbi Sakpiti, he's been happy about the fact that City FM and Channel 1 TV came through for them.
I know government have emergency plans. Since that day, that fateful night, that we have to do all manner of things to evacuate our people. Thank God we were able to do it successfully. Not even a single life has been lost. Today we are here. Our people have to go back to whatever they have to do to survive. I am a bit disappointed. This is the first time I wanted to express this. But lo and behold, I am happy. I am a happy man today because of City FM and Channel 1.
The Member of Parliament for the Central Tongue constituency, Gabi Hotoje, he noted that government has not been forthcoming with help.
I want to plead with government that I need compensation for my people. I need compensation for my people. They have suffered for far too long.
For the district chief executive of the Central Tongue District, Mr. Thomas Onyamo, he noted that this market is going to be expanded further and this is going to bring in revenue.
For assemblies to function, we need revenue. So if a market is constructed, then it's giving it a revenue source. So it means that we can come here and tap revenue. It's going to help the assembly generate more money for other developmental projects.
Thank you to the listeners of City FM and viewers of Channel 1 TV for your continuous support to all our initiatives. My name is Fred Tuho reporting from New Bawku in the Central Tongue District for Channel 1 News.
Wow, amazing. This is Sunday Breakfast. Welcome back. Joining us in studio, our colleague Fred Duho, who's followed this through and through, right from the very moment, the spillage happened in Lower Volta Basin up until all the time that relief has been sent. And now that we're commissioning projects, Fred has been following the trail. He's been there. He's seen and reported from different communities, including a report that won you an award, right? At the GJ.
Yeah, the very recent award.
Fred, welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning to our cherished viewers. Good morning to you, and Jude.
How's the week been for you?
Oh, the weekend.
From Monday to as a journalist, it's been a very busy.
It's been good. I mean, you stole the show during the parliamentary sitting.
Oh,
and
right,
we're all
really?
commending you for a good job done. Aside that, I mean, generally, the newsroom, we are all putting our efforts together to ensure that the election coverage happens and our viewers and listeners do get the best of reports as far as news coverage, the facts are all concerned. So we are doing our bit in the newsroom. It's not anything extraordinary. These are experienced hands, you know, in the newsroom that would always endeavor to give our viewers the very best.
Freddie, let's talk about when the spillage happened.
Yeah.
When you went there, I mean, you're from that community.
Volta region.
Yes, you're from the Volta region. Give us your, should I say, insight as to what you saw, the reportage, the places, because you went to some very interesting places where most cameras had not been. Tell us about that.
Well, the spillage happened, let's say, October 14th is exactly 1 year. And so a number of people within those areas, I can still put on record that a number of people are still living in tents.
Wow.
And that should tell us that we've not really done much. The leadership in terms of political heads and administrative heads when it comes to the district assemblies and municipalities, they've also done their bit to ensure that their people do not really suffer the devastation that much. Kudos to one person I can single out to say he's done so well, and he's been in constant communication and in touch with his people. Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, we've all seen his works. That is, there's no doubt about what he's done for his people. Even the very first year of this whole disaster, he's gone there to again, sympathize with his people and also ensure that they are okay, doing well. At least for his, we've seen. As to the rest of the places that were equally hit,
you know, I saw
really know
Honorable
what
Black also post on a social, a factory he had built to help support persons who lost their livelihoods as a result of the floods.
No, the factory is actually in existence.
They
so
revamped it.
It's a collaboration between some Chinese investors. And so he's made sure that some of his constituents gain employment from that place. And when the disaster also struck, he went in there to ensure that those people, their livelihood is not curtailed. And so he's been doing his bit. The other districts and MPs, maybe they may not be social media savvy, so they may not be posting theirs. So ICE may not go there.
But it's what we've seen that you are talking about. We've seen the works of Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa.
He's done so well.
He was at the launch when we handed over the
clinic.
How many facilities have Channel 1 and City?
Yeah, so when this whole disaster happened, I remember vividly that the general manager, Bernard Avle, and the team on the breakfast show on City FM actually launched the campaign for us to swing into action, basically to go support them with the needed need. So this is how we went about it. The very first one was food and clothing items and other relief items. Then when we realized that that was done significantly, we moved in with the medical outreach, where we did that in collaboration with the Nabita Hospital in Tema, and we had a number of medical volunteers on board. So we went to various communities to be able to screen these people, ensure that the contamination or the water that is contaminated that they've
probably consumed or even walked
that
through,
really do not worry them much. So that was a mitigation measure that the station took and went in to do the medical outreach. From the medical outreach, when they came back, they realized the need for a shelter. And so don't forget, Umaru Sanda went to the Topo area where there was this pregnant woman who was barely some few weeks to give birth, and she was sleeping on the bare floor in the classroom. That really moved emotions, and so our listeners and viewers saw it and they started donating towards the shelter project. So we went into action. Then they started cutting sod for the shelter project. Now we did the shelter in Topo as the first place. We went to Adam, Bando, and then we did the clinic project for the Epic Center. You know, Mepe has the largest number of affected victims. So that place, they had the clinic. Initially, they thought that we were neglecting them.
But they didn't know what was coming.
That's the thing. You know, when the whole disaster happened, don't forget, a number of people who wanted to give them relief
were going
there directly. And Mepe is also closer in terms of proximity to Accra. So when organizations mobilize resources, they quickly dash to Mepe and then dash back to Accra. And so resources were going there, even though it may not be much. But we as CTFM, we were also targeting the various places that had been, so like New Bakpa, they recently had the market. All those places. We went as far as the Anglogan areas, the Keta,
parts of the north, parts of the Savannah region.
We went to the Pando, we went to the Krachi areas, and so we extended
Bupe,
a whole lot of places.
Honorable John Jinapo's constituency.
We went there.
Bupe,
we went to Kwabna Donkor's area as well. I think that's Pru East also. And so we spread our tentacles to reach the very far-reaching areas that were equally affected, because organizations may not be able to reach them.
True.
And so that is the strategy management adopted, and that really worked perfectly. And so they didn't feel neglected during the
because
disaster.
we had the rally, the rally and the convening power.
Exactly. To
mobilize people.
Yeah, using our medium. And
kudos
so
to our viewers and our donors.
I mean, they did so well. They did so well. So then when we did the shelter for these 3 places, there comes the clinic, and as we speak, the clinic, there has been baby deliveries there about 4 or 5. I've lost count of the number of mothers who went there to deliver, and that is the great work our people did. I mean, that particular facility was sponsored by the Ghana Chamber of Mines, I think. Yes, the Miners Association. I think they came through for that project to happen. And then we moved into the new Bakpa quite recently. People have forgotten.
Probably forgotten.
They've forgotten
it.
1 year on, but we are still keeping eyes on the ground. We've gone to New Bakpa to hand over a market, a washroom, and again a water station, a mechanized borehole that will give them 24-hour water supply. And so this is how far we've come in terms of the projects. But for our listeners, viewers, and the generosity of Ghanaians and organizations, we couldn't have done this all alone. And it's been great.
When you go there and you speak with the residents there, the beneficiaries of some of these projects, what do they tell you?
Oh, they express so much joy because, see, the market that we handed over, that was last week. See, the women were so happy.
Right.
They were elated that, and the entire town has no market. So taking markets to them is now giving them a place to sit, relax, and if you need a washroom to visit, it is just close by. If you want water, you have it. There is light going to be provided to the facility. And so instead of, that one is using a genset, it's using an external power source. So instead of relying on, or going every morning you wake up and carry your wares on your head and be roaming, you now have a place where you can sit and do your market. The assembly is also taking advantage to say they would fix a day where they will say that is really the market day. People from the villages can come with their products to come and sell in the market, and then they can also start generating revenue from this facility. The MP was also promising to bring some solar street lights to install at the 4 corners, and this we've done in collaboration with the assemblies, the chiefs, and the people of various communities we've visited. We couldn't do this in isolation. You can't just move into anybody's community and just start digging the ground to do anything by yourself
without having the support and the backing
of the stakeholder engagement and collaboration we've enjoyed from all the communities, the assembly members from each electoral area that were affected. I mean, it's been massive. 3 regions, which is the Greater Accra, the Volta region, and Eastern region, and we're talking about 10 districts that were all affected. And so we
have the chief of Awadio Kome. Say that again.
Avadio Kome. Togbi Sakpiti.
Yes.
Let me just finish it for you. Togbi Sakpiti.
Togbi Sakpiti.
So he's Togbi Komla Sakpiti.
The faith. Yeah.
And he's joining us via Zoom to talk to us a year on. Their challenges, on how it's going, and probably the relief efforts that Channel 1 and City FM have provided. Hello, Togbe. Good morning. How are you doing this Sunday?
Fine morning. I'm doing great.
Right. Togbe, I just wanted to find out, a year on, how are your community members? How are you guys doing? Have the relief items that were promised to you from government been provided? It seems we're having challenges with our network, but Fred, I'm not
going to answer for Toby.
No. I'm asking you a different. Yes. I'm asking you a completely different question. When you went to New Bapa, you said people are still living in tents. Yes. Tell us about that.
That is in the North Tongue district, but for the New Bapa, they've gone back to the island. The Avaduekume that we mentioned, that place was totally submerged. Right. That was the place where you see Bernard Avla and the team on the boat that evening crossing to that island. Yeah. That island was totally submerged, and the structures there, because most of them are made of mud. They've collapsed.
Right.
And so most of them are now taking shelter with their relatives. So when we visited quite recently, New Bapa to be precise, the chief was telling us that the households that used to be like 2 households now are becoming like 5 or 10 households living in just one compound or in a shelter. And so government efforts hasn't been felt. Government support hasn't been, forthcoming, and so they are really not happy with the way government really handle issues.
Even at the government,
almost all the places they promised to build shelters, I can't really remember or recollect any of the places that we can say victims have managed to enter into any of those.
You have been going to the area very often. All the areas that have been affected by it. We also know that when the Minister for Works and Housing, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, was at the Government Assurances Committee, he was asked that question on when government would move to begin the construction of the said shelters for victims affected. Can you give us a little update on that? Because he said he was going to go back to the area in 14 days, right? It elapsed, I'm sure months have passed. I've still not heard much from the ministry.
For the honorable member's statement before the Privileges Committee,
the Government Assurance
Committee, sorry. See, he was making specific reference to the North Tongue area, and that is where it got emotional with the chairman of the committee, who has been in the center of this whole thing. They've done nothing. They've not really moved in to do anything. New Bapa, which is in the Central Tongue, for instance, when we spoke to the people, they said even the workers on site, they need a bag of cement to even continue with the project. They are not getting it.
So if Channel 1 didn't step in, then the situation
would have been worse.
Wow.
Would have been worse. And thanks to other benevolent donors who also collaborated with the MP for North Tongue to build at least 2 different shelters for the people. And so far they've been able to relocate widows, mothers, people with children. They've been able to move in the aged to some of these facilities.
Right. Fred, we have Toby back on the line. This time he's joining us via phone. Toby, I was asking you a year on, how are your community members doing? Have you received the reliefs that government promised?
Thank you so much. Good morning to you and your colleagues, and good morning to all of viewers across the globe. First of all, I wanted to use this opportunity to thank you and the management of CTFM and Channel 1, most especially your CEO, the Mensa, for coming to our aid where we were in dire need for a lot of relief items. We appreciated it very much, and we will always be in our good books for coming to our aid. May God richly bless you. 1 year on after the flood, sometimes I have to hold myself to answer some of these questions. because as a young man, 2 years on the throne, and this is the time that I have to face life and make sure I have a very good future. There are a lot of things that I'm going through. The flood came. We have to depend on people to survive. I have nobody anywhere that will really support me during the evacuation and other things. But I have put those things behind me. 1 year on, we are just listening to people saying on their lips they are coming to do this, they are doing this, and all over on the media, most especially the Minister of Works and Housing, my very good friend called Bawku, who I may say I'm a bit disappointed in him because we have emergency plan that the government is putting in place. What is happening to it? The Parliamentary Select Committee came to Central Town this Assembly here. They asked me some few questions, and upon my revelations to them, they told me because of what they can say I have more, so they have to invite all of us to Parliament so that they bring the minister and other people. They promised us that in 2 weeks' time, work will start for the resettlement project. In fact, it has been still 14 days, 2 months has elapsed, but still nothing is going on. So I may say 1 year on, my people are still struggling. They have to move back to make sure they have their life. But it wasn't easy. Their farmlands have been washed away by the flood, and their livelihood are totally gone. As we speak now, nothing is going on. Last time, government was able to organize some fertilizers and other things. It's rather unfortunate. We depend on the rainfall, and the rain didn't come in the major season. So we are back to square one. All those results they gave us has not yielded any results. So life is very, very terrible here. But by His grace, we are managing, and I'm always giving my people hope that surely as day break and we are still counting the days, surely we will go to the promised land. That is our story.
Wow. Togbe, we know that when the Minister for Works and Housing, Kojo Nkrumah, appeared before the Government Assurances Committee on some shelters government were working on for victims of the spillage, he mentioned that in 14 days at the time, they would move back to look at the various level of work happening there. By your mentioning to us that you've been quite disappointed in the response from government, what were your expectations and what was said to you that hasn't been done?
I can confidently tell you that that was last week. The consultants were at the site. They promised me that last week they will come to clear the site and other things. The very day, Fred who can recollect, the very day you came to commission the market here, the DP told him that they will go to sign the contract with the contractors. Then maybe that very week, before the weekend, they will come and do the site clearing. But still, it has been going on there. And it's rather unfortunate the ones that construction ambassadors and Common Fund Secretariat, they are doing the 50 units they are doing here at Bawku. Work has come to a standstill. There's no single building material at the site that they can even use. When you talk to the contractors, they told you they will not release funds. When we went to Parliament the last time, they asked the director of the director of Works and Housing. Yes, they told him that he categorically told the Parliament that they received 200 million Ghana cedis money to start the project. Meanwhile, they need 261 million, and he was really asking for the rest of the money. And they told him he should go and start the work, and while they will also be working on putting the government to release the rest of the funds. 2 months ago, nothing has happened. And sometimes I ask myself, are we also part of that? If we were to go other regions or other communities that these things are happening, is there going to be government, this slow pace of government approach? Sometimes I feel very sorry finding myself at this corner of the world, because the way we do our things here, we always do selective. When the president came here last time, he was telling chiefs that, if you wanted to depend on votes, you don't even step here. Can you imagine a leader for the whole country, when people were having headaches, they cannot sleep, they don't have anywhere to lay their head? You go to chiefs and you'll be responding to critical issues that way. During the flood, the vice president supposed to visit us here. The DT and other people want us to go and meet them at the hotel. I told myself, nobody should even step there. When they went back and came back to us to meet us at our safe haven. So from the beginning, I can foresee a lot of things that these people, they are just trying to play with us. And still, I may say, we also have to appeal to you to put more pressure on the government so that they can quickly work on whatever we have to do for us to have our peace. So the last time, we already told us that they will be stealing again in a very short possible time. So we are also hoping that the rain should stop so that we shouldn't have the second coming of the stealing we have experienced in the past.
Togbe, thank you so much for your time. We are grateful you could join us to share some insights into happenings in your area. And we'll be back to also ascertain for ourselves the progress on some of the projects that we have commissioned in your areas. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Finally, before I take leave of you, on behalf of the good people of Bapa and about Yokoma, we cannot say much. The only thing we have to say is that may God bless you. This is our story. We have a lot of things that we need to put in place. You have done a lot for us, but Oliver Chief always asks for more. In one of these days, we personally come, we see the chief of Bapa in your studios to come and say thank you for showing an appreciation.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Fred, we are so proud of you for coming from Central Town to be at Channel 1 and City TV. Without you, we don't know how we can write our story. Thank you so much. May God bless you.
Thank you, Doggy. I'm truly grateful for that.
Wow.
Truly grateful.
Doggy, thank you so much. That should be really a proud moment for you.
You know,
because the essence of media all the time.
Yes.
So my boss is, my boss will tell you that the essence of media is to tell the truth. Our boss will tell us the essence of media is to seek the truth, right? And media is also to tell the story of people, right? So when they are, I don't know. Maybe she just
Fred, good job. The fact that Toby has recognized your efforts means a lot because yes, you have really shown a torch.
That was more of a highlight for me during the awards night of the GGA. There was this story I told about the women, how they are struggling to put food on the table for the family. In this our part of the world is the women who would turn around a bit to make things happen before the family can feed. And the women, they've really gone through a lot. There was this physically challenged woman whom I saw in one of the shelters using knife between her toes to peel cassava. She's not having the hands and
physically challenged.
I thought she was trying her very best, and she goes to the farm in that condition to bring cassava, maize and everything to the shelter to as it were put food on her table and also feed her kids. They've really gone through a lot. The challenges they faced over the period is just one that one can really I mean, you struggle to find words to describe what they've gone through. All the way from the Keta area, talk to the places we've mentioned. I mean, government should have really committed resources to make sure that these people get the needed support they deserve. But it seems like government is laid back. They are, I don't want to use the word unconcerned, but the approach to which they've been dealing with this, yes, we are in hard times. We do appreciate the fact that the economy is going through some challenges. But the same economy facing challenges, we see what money or resources are being used for.
Other projects.
On other things. If you see other projects, one would think probably huge things that we can walk to, fiscal projects that we can walk to. But even a number of projects across the country have stalled.
Right.
And, well, as to what government is spending resources on, beats imagination. We should be able to channel our resources to the right needs of our people. As and when the people of this country face any challenge at any given point in time, we should be able to channel resources. That is why there are various forms of funds set up by Parliament. We have the is it a sinking fund? We have this fund, we have that fund, we have a number of funding sources are available that we usually commit resources to. The taxpayers do not cease paying taxes in this country. And so when Ghanaians are faced with challenges, we should be able to commit the same resources Ghanaians are contributing to solving those challenges. We should not major in the minors and be moving out. Can we say that government as it stands now, even opposition parties, do not have resources to crisscross this country to campaign?
Wow.
They're doing it effortlessly.
They are doing it. You get it? They are doing all they can to marshal resources to be able to win the souls of this of electorates to go into the election. So how come when it gets to our people, the same people, we are finding excuses as to attending to their needs?
I don't remember the last time I saw. Your points are well laid out, and I agree with you in entirety. They pay taxes, right? We have a responsibility to attend to the case of these people. I was raising a point about the modern feel of the market. I don't remember the last time I saw a public market like that with like sinks, sinks on lighting, chandelier can be,
chandelier for them. It's not chandelier. Just because you were taught chandelier yesterday doesn't mean that you can be throwing the word about what is chandelier.
If the light is hanging, it's not chandelier.
No, it's not. It's not this type of chandelier.
I thought it's hanging like that. It's chandelier.
I beg you. I beg you.
But as a media house, Charlie,
with the form.
If I sit back and see the projects we've done,
it's unbelievable,
Charlie.
And so it goes back to the earlier point you were saying about if a private media house can
do this,
government should be in a position to do a lot more. Because then again, we know from the 2024 media budget, the last budget presented by Mr. Kenoforiata, it was clear 220 million Ghana cedis had been committed as money government intended to use to bring relief.
There should be,
you
should put the difference to whether something is committed to and whether something is approved.
So the point is that
I can go on any platform to say that okay, we are going to commit 200 million.
Yeah, but the budget has been approved. The budget has been approved. So if the budget was approved, so if the minister then did not commit the said funds that he said was going to use for a particular project and then it raises a different question altogether.
Because if I remember correctly, Toby just said that the contractor said there were no funds available.
Yeah, so that's I think government ought to
was a 200 committed solely to projects. So that is also part of relief. So we should be able to bring.
Yeah, so that's why it goes back to the point I'm saying that
give you. If you ask right now, they'll be able to give you
a breakdown
of every penny.
But I've not seen that breakdown.
That's the thing.
So they should bring
We've not seen the tangibles.
We've not seen the breakdown, right?
You get it.
So now they should bring the breakdown and say, in our response to the Akosombo Dam,
we've been able to
do this. And all of this 200 million and 220 million Ghana cedis you are talking about is different from what other private sector, government, because we
They've all
even know the
contributed to
VRA,
it.
for example, was helping out in certain communities, right? The MP and all of that were doing their bit. But the point is that once you've come to Parliament to tell us that you're using 220 million, you know, a year on, please come back to the people's house, go there again and tell us, okay, this is a breakdown. Audited accounts, we use this to do this. Until that is done, you know, it doesn't brood well for government.
The VRA itself, I think, because they are also hiding behind governments, that is why we are not seeing what they are doing. Okay, so everything is now like government is doing this, government is committing this to this. But VRA, which is the body that needs to move in to say, we are giving you this and that as compensation for the devastation, they are not forthcoming with that. So the people also tend to blame the government very often because government has overshadowed what ordinarily VRA should have done. VRA, as we speak, they generate their own revenue, manage their own affairs. I think whatever is left is probably what they also send to government as their contribution to, the amount generated.
Right.
If VRA is deliberate about going in as an independent organization, authority, to say, okay, this is the Epic Center. We've done our assessment. We realized that a number of houses were affected. We want to also build this shelter for you. VRA would have done that long ago. But because government is now saying, we want to do it, VRA, bring your resources. That is why we are not seeing what VRA is also doing.
Right.
And so it's quite difficult to say whether VRA should be held accountable or the government should be held responsible for what is happening. And so the people are in a fist. It is for us to put our heads together to say, see, the people who have been affected, as to where the resources is going to come from, let's try as much as possible to get it done. If CTFM and Channel 1 TV can build 4 shelters, a clinic, market, and all that we've done through the benevolence of people, our listeners and viewers, government with its resources should be able to do more. Should be able to do more than a private organization has done for the various communities. And so everybody will be justified to blame the government for not showing their face, not going there with the needed resources to help. And the people will also be justified to put any twist at all to it. Because, I mean...
They don't have the information.
They don't have information. The utterances, even at certain points in time, it's just totally uncalled for. And so, for me, I am saying, 1 year on, when you go there, the people, their livelihood has deteriorated very badly, and resources or attention must be paid to them. The promises that were made must be fulfilled. Yeah.
Right. Fred, thank you so much. Like Toby said, you've shown, I remember this woman.
You've shown a lot of leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all of us at City. Charles and Co. The rest of the team is the entire newsroom. But waking up at dawn to
go there.
travel
I
and
remember
come
when
back
we went there to tell various stories in different communities.
Crazy.
And we ended up doing CNR
from the field. I mean, sometimes we need to show people the behind the scene of what happens before they see certain beautiful things on TV. I mean, it's not always easy like that.
It's not a bed of roses.
Fred is my guy, you know. Fred is my guy.
It's not easy like that.
It's not a bed of roses.
I am your guy on a positive note, not on your...
And before he drives into a different, his mischievous ways. Fred, thank you so much.
Thanks to our viewers.
Thanks to our viewers.
To our listeners.
Thanks
and
to all our
thanks to all the companies, the donors, for coming through for us. We are truly grateful. And for the people of all the affected areas, especially the Epic Center, North Tongue, Charlie, your resilience would pay off one day. Just be strong and let's be hopeful that things will get better.
It certainly will. And there's a message here. It says, City FM and Channel 1 TV, you guys are amazing. God bless you and your donors. But for you, I wonder who the you he's talking about is.
No, so he said that, but for you, the other one, the other one, the one 200 million.
But kudos to us, because I'm part of an organization that cares and does a lot for people. When we return, we delve into our nutrition segment. Don't go away.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world. Piva Drink at a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva Pacto and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
Get ready! The Harvest Chapel International Overcomers Convention is here! It's a week of the word and demonstrations of God's love and power. Theme: Wisdom for Building the Church. And God's servants ministry are Prophet Eric Oklu Parsley, Living Fountain Baptist Church, Bishop Ewusi Brookman, Rhema Calvary Center, and Dr. Michael Bwedi Nyamiche, Makers House Chapel International. And it's hosted by Reverend Fitzgerald Odonko. Prepare your heart, soul, and mind, and let's meet at Tehillah Temple, Harvest Chapel International, South Tesano, from Tuesday 26th November to Sunday 1st December, 6 p.m. each night from Tuesday to Friday, and 9 a.m. on Sunday. Song ministrations will be by the Harvest Gospel Choir, and Wonyam and Calvis Hammond. Make time to be at the life-transforming Overcomers Convention 2024.
There are situations in life that teaches us to be better in our next chapter. Our guest, Empress Gifty, shares some takeaways from hers.
I've learned how to forgive. I have learned how to respect a man as a husband. I need to make my home so lovely for my husband and my kids to feel comfortable.
Hey, you're enjoying it. I'm jealous.
And just when you need the help, God sends it. But of course, through humans.
I went to Kwame and said, Kwame, I have something for you. He said, oh, Empress, what about something so you? He said, Kwame, I need to see you. I said, okay, let's go to the studio. So he just sat on the keyboard. Oh, Kwame started playing something. I said, oh, I did all kakuma.
Now, to spice up the evening, we have some engaging activities for you to try. You can call it a bonding time.
Really?
Then we sure at it like
smile.
So, make a date with Frema Idunyami and Nana Tufo on the Upside Down Show this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt, only on Channel 1 TV. You do not want to miss out on the fun and lessons we will share with you on the show. Now remember, Upside Down is proudly sponsored by Sky Mineral Water.
This is Sunday Breakfast. Welcome back. My name is Jude Duncan, the station Channel 1 TV. I'm here with Safo. Just gone by, we're telling you about the good works of City FM and Channel 1 all the way in the Volta region and other parts of the country giving back after that really devastating spillage, bringing you up to speed with all the latest we've been able to do in the region. But for now, we focus on health matters because health matters. Anyway,
I like that.
I had to try, I had to try.
I like that.
We are focusing because health matters. Wow. And to help us go through this conversation, we have a new friend on the show.
Yes, becoming a regular.
Yeah, a registered dietitian, Hillary Clinton. Charlie, it's funny because your friends in America, they are not happy. It wasn't a good week for them.
For all of us.
Oh, you were part.
I like that.
Oh, you were disappointed.
Not really,
but you hoped it had gone elsewhere.
Maybe.
Wow, Hillary, welcome.
Thank you.
We'll delve into the issues we have to discuss today, diabetes and all the rest. But just for our viewers, right? We asked the question early on about what you made of the president's statue that he'd unveiled at Efian Kwanta in the Western region. A lot of your messages have come through. We are still putting together a lot more. If you we are calling for a lot more messages, you can do so by 0204 447 sending all of your messages. We'll make sure to read all of it just before we get off the set. Hillary, diabetes. Last week I was saying that when people say diabetes, the next thing that comes to mind is sugar. Is it really the case, or should it be the case?
Not necessarily. So last week we spoke about this. Everything you eat is going to turn into sugar, so it doesn't necessarily mean sugar, brown sugar, white sugar, or honey. Everything, your proteins, your fats, your carbs, at the end of the day, they all turn into sugar.
What's the difference between the type 1 and the type 2?
Okay. So type 1 usually happens in the early stages of life. So you see with kids, 1, 2, 3, around that stage. Then type 2 usually with the older people. Because type 1 is autoimmune, and the body tries to fight against you, so you start to have diabetes. But with type 2, it's lifestyle, your life choices. Genetics play a role though, but mainly lifestyle.
Is it hereditary?
It plays a role, but then you would have to also play a role for the genes to work.
I like that, play a role for the genes to work. So, what should I be eating to, make sure that the genes do not take over and give me diabetes?
Sometimes you see a family and they are all obese, or you see a family and they are all skinny because they have a similar pattern of eating. Okay, so when one goes away from home, things change a bit. So if a family, say the mother has diabetes, you see the children or the other members of the family tend to stand at risk of having it because they have a similar lifestyle. So we'll try to do the right stuff now. We mentioned it last week, type 1 and type 2 has some similarities, usually in the management. So you focus on whole grains, moderate amount of lean protein, then healthy fats. But for type 2, we'll do more of the plant-based proteins. So your beans will come to play, your black-eyed beans, your soybeans. We'll do more of that than the meats and the chicken and the fishes.
Okay, so if I'm eating, or if I sit at a meal, if I sit down to have a meal, how often should I eat? Should I do today I eat once a day, just to make sure that I'm scared to get diabetes, so I eat once a day, or maybe I eat twice a day. How should I be managing what I eat to ensure that I do not get diabetes?
Okay,
or I'm managing it.
With type 2, you're supposed to do 3 meals and 1 to 3 snacks. With type 1, you need a steady supply of glucose or energy, so they do a lot of snacks in between. But with type 2, you can do 1 snack, 2 or 3 snacks. But your 3 main meals are constant. We can't compromise on that.
When you say snacks, my mind automatically goes to biscuits. That's a snack.
So we have healthy snacks, like yogurt with some seeds, or your salads, or your soups, or your smoothies. You can actually make smoothies in a healthy way, so you can snack on those. And there are some juices, I don't want to mention any brand's name, but there are some drinks you can actually snack on.
Really?
Yes.
And they don't have any of those
things
that you people have been mentioning? Right. So, what diet should I say I should be following if I'm a type 2 diabetic patient?
So, usually we say modified carbs.
Which is?
So, we are going to modify the kind of carbohydrates you are taking.
Right.
Okay, so we'll stay away from the refined carbohydrates.
Which ones are the refined ones?
The refined ones are the added sugars or the processed ones.
Okay.
Okay, so your drinks, your biscuits, your pastries, you are going to stay away from those ones. Is that fine? So we'll stay away from the refined carbs. We'll do mainly the whole foods. We are going to add a little bit of dash dyes. That is for hypertensives, because last week we mentioned something about a metabolic syndrome.
Right.
When you have diabetes, cholesterol comes in, your BP start going high. So we'll try to manage all of them as if they are present. So we'll manage your weight. We'll check if the BPs are fine. Your salt will be reduced. We'll stop the processed foods, the artificial spices. All of that will be cut. Then we'll focus mainly on the unprocessed foods.
Is keto or going totally vegan an option?
I wouldn't advise that.
Why not?
Keto is actually for epilepsy patients. It's for seizures. But we use it for weight loss.
I didn't know that.
So it's for seizures.
Did you know that? I didn't know, because everybody is doing keto to lose weight.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's for seizures. So if you don't have a seizure, why are we doing keto?
You're joking. Because it's a trend. A lot of people are doing. Sometimes you're scrolling through social media and then keto management meal plan, etc, when to eat 8 hours fast, something. It's for seizures.
Yes.
And going totally vegan is not an option.
You can, but then I would advise we do partial. Even though plant-based foods, we are encouraging that for type 2. There are some minerals and vitamins you might not find completely in the plant-bases. So we would need a little bit of the animal-based proteins to top it up.
So if I'm not diabetic, can I be vegan and it'll be fine?
People choose to, but then I think partial will be better.
Okay, so not full-on vegan, but partial, where you chew, fish?
And people do eggs, people do milk, and all that. Because there are some vitamins, say B12, most vegan people are deficient in that vitamin because of they are not getting it in their foods, because they're taking just plant bases. So we add a little bit of that to balance it out. If not, you'd have to be taking supplements.
What kind of supplements?
So the vitamin you are lacking will give you the supplement for that.
Okay.
You know, I just wanted to talk briefly about the relationship between stress and diabetes, because we find ourselves in an environment where a lot of people, because of their work or family or whatever reason, resorts to a lot of like stress eating, right? You know, they'll drink because, even on the show we discussed with Reverend Safo Samati today, where they'll go to a bar to drink because they are frustrated at home and stuff like that, and they end up consuming all kinds of things which may not necessarily be good for their health. So I just want you to talk to us about the relationship between stress and, because me, if I'm working late night, my cook is by my side, you know, and I work late night a lot. So, and I'm sure there are people like me. So just talk to us about the relationship between stress and how to be minded not to consume certain foods that could ultimately negatively impact your health.
Okay, so we are going to handle this from two angles. Once you are stressed, you know your BPs start going high. And we've spoken about the metabolic syndrome. So once your BPs are going high, your sugars will start going high. And once you are stressed, there are some hormones that start skyrocketing. The cortisol, the adrenaline, they start skyrocketing. Then they reduce the sensitivity. So now, if you guys remember, we spoke about the key and the lock last week. So now the body is not able to take up the glucose you are taking. So you take your meals, it turns into glucose, and the body is not receiving it. It stays in your blood, then the sugars start going high.
So then, is there like a meal plan you can adopt if, for example, you know you work very late hours, you're tired, you're stressed sometimes or often at work? Is there like a meal plan that could come to you and say, hey Larry, like sort me out, you know, get me something I could follow to just manage my exposure or the risks to diabetes?
Okay, so with our clients or our patients, we always tell them diet plans are individualized. You have to like what you're eating. It's supposed to be according to your preferences.
Yeah.
So you see a professional according to what you like. Everybody's plan is going to be different. We plan it proportional to what you would like to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't have to be sad when you're having a meal because you're not happy with it. So you see a professional based on what you like. The meal is planned for you.
Let's say I have diabetes, but I like to eat out.
Okay.
How are we managing that?
Eat out for what reason?
Because I don't like to cook.
So now we have to change that mindset.
Or maybe we don't know how to cook.
We change that mindset.
Yeah, but like cooking is learned, right?
And I can teach you that.
Yeah, but like maybe I don't have the time to also learn, so I would prefer buying food outside. Would the advice then be where to buy the food from or what to buy?
Or even how to manage what I buy?
Okay, so the first option is make your food at home. That is the first option, if you can. Yes, but then because of work, some people are not able to take food to work and all that. You stay out for a long time. Recently, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but then there are restaurants coming up for healthy meals, and that has a restaurant like that. It's called a dietitian's kitchen actually. But then I've seen a couple around, so you can check your location. If you find something like that, you can lean towards that. But then if not, when you're out, we'd have to stick to say salads, yogurts and all that.
I'm hungry, I think.
So
salad.
If it's a usual thing, if it's a daily thing, salads are feeling some,
but
it depends on what
you need
in
like
the salad.
2 portions.
No. So you just check your location. I'm sure you'll find a restaurant that serves healthy meals, and we can stick to that.
Wow. You know, it's interesting. But then maybe just some final words on what to really be mindful of and guard against, right? For those who are prone to diabetes, also because like you mentioned, it could be hereditary. What should they guard against in terms of what they consume?
Okay, so like I've said, we are going to have 3 meals. It's supposed to be for everyone, not just diabetics. So 3 meals, no 010 or 001 anymore. We are going to have 3 meals.
That is economically, you know, is the economy that decides that.
The economy, not your pocket.
So we'll try as much as possible. 3 meals, we'll stay away from processed foods. All the processed proteins, your sausages and all that. We like kebab a lot, so we are going to stay away from that. Try and make sure that we are eating whole grains. We have an amount of vegetable on our plates. We are not skipping the meals here. And we are physically active. We try, not necessarily the gym, but they try and some activity, jogging, walking. They are all good. About 30 minutes to 45 minutes, 3 days in a week should be fine.
Wow. You know, it's concise but straight to the point. Yeah, and I just maybe a final thoughts, because there are also people who binge a lot on snacks. You know, maybe they'll put some small shop in the office at the reception somewhere. They are selling chocolate, they are selling, and every now and then you know, so you're tempted to eat it more. And I see people also like have snack boxes by their desks in the office and all of that. What's the professional thinking or advice around people who snack a lot and often snack sweetie or sweet products?
Okay, I'm a snack person myself. I like chocolates.
I like chocolate too.
It's very difficult, but then it starts with the mind. You make a conscious effort. You're not going to keep snacks around anymore. So even if you want to, we can do healthy options. Maybe a granola bar without honey. Okay, unsweetened.
Sister, we pass.
So we are going to keep the snacks away, but then if you want to, we can do something like that around. You make sure they are not in reach, then you make sure conscious efforts. You're not going to snack. It will take some time because you're used to it, but then with time,
is dark chocolate a healthy option?
Yes, it's a healthy option as compared to the milk one.
But it's bitter.
It's nice. I don't know why people complain about dark chocolate. I love it. I love it.
That's good.
I love dark chocolate, but Jude is disagreeing with me.
Hilary, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure having you. A lot of the time, some of the things we talk about we know it, but it's the discipline to go through it, right? So maybe one time we should spend time on how to be mentally tough, right? Because I'm sure there's a training and there's a science to it.
Yeah. And there's a question here for you though, just before we move on. Hello, Jude and Eno. Can I do, well, I think, hello, Hillary, rather. Can I do intermittent fasting to lose weight as a diabetic? If not, what would be the other option?
No.
No. Emphatic no.
No. But then, with intermittent fasting, I realized there are ratios to it.
Okay.
So then we can even choose the least. You eat for a longer portion of time, then you starve. But then even with that, it's not so healthy because, like I said, you need a steady supply of energy for the body. If not, it tends to rely on your stored fats, breaks them down into sugar, brings them back into circulation. If you're unlucky, your cholesterol starts skyrocketing as well. So then it's not an option.
Thank you, Hillary.
So next week, can we give a preview to what we'll be discussing so our viewers,
we'll think about that.
We'll think about that, come up with something based on what the spirit will drop.
Yes.
But I like that.
I thought you were taking us on break.
Yeah, just very brief thoughts. It's a wake-up call.
To you.
And to you.
Who's always drinking Coke?
And to you,
Coke.
and to you.
Jude,
like I've accepted my flaw.
I mean, I don't snack on the biscuits. What you find me eating is chocolate.
You don't know. You don't know it. That is why
chocolate. That one, dear.
But even with the chocolate, I'm sure when you pick a bar, you see a recommended 7 size. So you're going to stick to that.
But that's the full bar.
No, that's not the full bar.
It's okay, Jude. Take us on break. Jude, take us on break. Hillary cannot do this to me.
So there you have it. Hillary Clinton joining us for a discussion. She says she's not too happy with the results of the US election, but Trump will not really care. Yes, helping us through a conversation on diabetes, the risk factors, what we need to guard against. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll have some sports.
John, mema wakwaba.
Yeah, so.
Alaji, mema wakwaba.
Yeah.
John, I had a bro, woman.
I really am a gun and Tina Menemo, and Breca can be Jano. Tono Tina Masaba.
Alaji, I had a bro.
Yo, Medasi. Moamonim, Tamana, Amawa, which Momiana, and Bobo and a Kakra. As I say, dear, my crowd said, me person me be warino. Namiko CSL. Nami man sign Jinan and Nasubium, no your crabeshe.
Yo, I was not for, yes, Empire. Yo, I'm a Ghana. What's wrong?
Mean to me, ain't son cheap. Your bread baby, I would make fair way. I'm an who. Baby. Mean to me, beyond. Forward ever, backwards. Never.
John, what Okoya would me very fast. I would say, a come, do so. Shut me none of me. Yeah, 3 years such as here by a come and your school uncle. And I say, yeah, on my essay.
I say, my sister, be sure, boy. Sahu machi, 2 o'clock okra. Meko band, the Makwa Iska, Edi Abraham Ghana. Nama Bonigretri, I'm not starting Kokon Kete. Hey!
Akunta, you are still incompetent.
2 persons are in Mamma Bravo, and 2 chachati aviator. There be Embasso.
Aladdin has also promised us jobs through digitalization. A Jimambe Busi
Alaji dear, Metanasua, Nemasware, a Miribia Mecania Besano, which me talk a near light when you phone so, a mammy, baby, or Nambia. You are Magana, and Yaman Mawari amount. Alaji me, Jones me, where choose you.
No Ababa said. Alaji, number 1.
Alaji number one.
Number one.
Eso.